love the show. I love you guys. Fucking, let's go Jets. Jets, Jets.
Can't all be beautiful.
You're in the danger zone.
DayngerZone? What's up, dude?
What's going on? How are we doing? It always gets me lit. That intro gets me going every time.
Dude, every time I'm about to turn on my camera and just be jamming out in the corner, and I'm like, dude, I've already done that once, but it's just what I feel like doing every time, you know?
Yeah, buddy. I'm shocked I haven't knocked something off my desk from playing the air drums in the back.
Dude, we got some guests tonight. Sorry for being late. Literally one of those times where like everything's happening the same minute. I just had to go grab a bunch of these. Basically, I got DoorDashed, you know, and same time got Snowball and Johnny over there cooking, dude. So like I wasn't pressing to get live, but like at the same time, like I want to hear you guys' takes. And again, we have guests tonight. We have Snowball coming on, which we haven't had him on since September, right before week 1. So, what do you think of Snowball joining us?
Yeah, it's been a minute. I really haven't talked to old Snowball in quite a little while, so I'm excited about it. I haven't really had any conversations since, back in the match game days, so I'm excited to have Snowball on. He's a good dude, and if I were to ever take an art class again, I would want him to be my art teacher.
Another guy that I have who is ready right now, and I always love hearing from him. I'll give you a hint. If you know the Back to the Future franchise, man, I always think of that whenever I hear about bringing him out. Anyways, I'm going to rip off the scab. Let's hear from our buddy, Scott. What's up?
What on earth from that movie reminds you of me?
You know what? Just the adjective great Scott. That's the only thing.
Okay, I get that.
Looking, I like the beard, bro.
God, for fuck's sake.
Well, until I'm off this mountain, I'm not touching it.
The beard, that is?
Yeah.
Dude, that's looking impressive, man. I love that.
I got to step my game up with you two on screen with me. Dang.
Hey, look at us. 3 different colors.
Yeah. You're right about that.
Scott, what was yours originally with the color? Brown or
Brown. It was, well, you know what? I had brown, red, and black all in it. Blonde, you name it. And then gray slowly took over. There's still a few dark ones in there somewhere, but usually they come out when I'm combing or something.
I would call it white more than gray though. I don't know if it's just the camera.
White, gray, same thing, dude.
Fair, fair.
Old man beard.
No,
Old
it's
man
not.
color. It's not?
Whi-
Okay.
White can look good as fuck. Gray is like, oh yeah, you look old. You know, I'm gonna get gray. Like I know it. I'm gonna look old as shit. I'm gonna be gray. If you're white, like you and Snowball kind of have like the white thing going on. Like that looks good. Like I almost want to dye my hair white because I think it looks cool.
Well, Murph, I am old as shit, so whatever. We'll see where it goes from there.
I wasn't saying that. Come on, man.
I got you.
I will say I'm getting some white strands in not just here but here as well, and I don't know if it's an indicator. I mean, I could still go freaking gray, but most redheads I know go white, and I'm hoping I do too. But hey, Murph said it. Take a compliment. Here's another one for you, Scott. Check it out down there.
Rich. Gotta love Rich.
Rich is the man.
I appreciate the love. I'm sure I can change all that coming up on this show. Oh, Snowball.
My bad.
Almost.
I thought. Yeah, you know what? I thought he was ready. I couldn't tell because it's like a tiny little photo. So I'm like, oh, let me just expand that and see if he's there. I didn't know it would put it on screen. Anyways,
I just clicked something and I was like, oh no, I'm already fucking shit up. This is the first show that I have been allowed to have some studio access, so I'm going to try to help Dane keep track of this producing shit. I know nothing about technology, so this is going to be real fun.
If you can you see the chat? If you click on a message, I want to see if it turns it on screen.
I'm the one that put Rich's up there because you had it as this. Yeah, perfect. I clicked on Rich's thing, and then the screen went to Snowball's empty chair, and I was like, what did I do?
That was me. You're good, man. You're good. Chat, I see you guys are roaring already. I appreciate you. Got 12 in here on YouTube, another 6 on Twitter. Scott, I've already seen you were vocal on the last show about what you feel about Rogers and Glenn. We are going to get into that, so prepare to voice your opinion on that matter for sure. We are going to also get into final draft takes, which I'm excited about because this is the final take that you have that you're going to be held accountable for what, 4 years on this channel. So it should be a good one. Chat, we want you guys to pitch your final takes as well for at least the first 2 rounds. But anyways, before we get into that, we're giving Snowball a minute. How are you guys' weeks? Anything interesting happen? Just getting ready for spring or what?
I had winter just show up again today, so I'm going to be hunkered down here for a couple days. It seemed like spring yesterday, but I guess when you're in the Rockies, it's just the way it is.
Yeah, it was 85 here today, maybe more. It hasn't been that high yet this year, just out of nowhere. The last 2 days was like 50s, maybe it might have touched 60. 85 today out of nowhere. And I ended up working over 12 hours. So, yeah, but that's been all my week, dude. I worked 40 hours the last 3 days. Yeah, so it's tough for me to keep up with shit at that point. But I did watch the Aaron, at least a snippet of the interview where he was talking about the bulk of everything. So I do have a little bit of an opinion on that. Yeah, man, I'm excited for the weather to get nice and get outside, get a little sun on the bones, and we got draft coming up in less than a week. So,
dude,
next thing you know, it's going to be like, the post June cuts are going to happen. It'll be training camp. It'll be this. It's basically football season tomorrow, guys. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
It never
dude.
ends. It really never ends.
No.
You know, good, Scott.
I was going to say what I appreciate more now than I ever did growing up, or even not that long ago, was just the whole business season of the NFL. That is, of course, more interesting to me than it once was. It used to be all about what happens on the field. I don't care about the rest of it. But the business end of it is very interesting.
Facts. Hey, we have him ready now. It's as good a time as any to bring him the hell out. I don't know if he heard me when I said it, but last time I saw him in the Danger Zone was September 6th, right before week 1, and I would say I imagine his vibes have changed a little since then. So I mean, sure, he's called in, I think, when Johnny was here, but like a standalone spot. Let's see what he has to say. Without further ado, Mr. Jets Worldwide, Snowball.
Up, Snowball.
You guys are so nice.
Oh,
Yeah, I got a chance to go to the bathroom. I got a chance to get a drink. I got a chance to change hats. So it's nice.
we got an outfit, wardrobe change, and everything. That's nice.
Look at that. I was able to do that for you. Dan, thank you so much for your purchase. That was amazing.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know you were doing the raffle thing. I just
That's okay.
Yeah, you guys drop something. I'm gonna support, just like
Thank
you guys
you so
support
much.
us, right? So
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
You know what? Let's get into that first, Snowball. Can you, you're trying to get more following. Same over here.
Yeah.
Let's cross pollinate a little bit. Tell us, for anyone in the chat, either now or later, plug your channel. Also, tell us we know, but tell us what you have cooking new on your channel, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So, we just opened up a merch store. So if you want to head over to the merch store, that's good. But I'll talk about the channel first. So we're Jets Worldwide. We're on every Friday night, right before Dane's show. So right before the Danger Zone, I try to get them to get off earlier. Yeah, very nice. Oh, look at that! You do have look at that! You have little samples, right? That's so that's my wife, and right, that's my wife. She modeled the bikini for us. It was very good. She was very apprehensive about doing that, but a couple of drinks and she was ready. So
she made you cut the top part of her face off, so
yes, so you can't recognize her in public. And then
Clearly.
the hat, that's Johnny's hat. So anyway, Jets Worldwide every 7:30 every Friday. When the season starts, we'll be back on Sunday mornings at I forget even when we did that, 10:30. So you can check us out, Jets Worldwide, all one word, on YouTube. And then the merch store just opened up the other day. So that is jetsworldwide.printify.me. So we have a whole bunch of merch in there. People are piling up the purchases already. So it's very nice that people are going in there. Again, it's so it's jetsworldwide.printify.me. And fill some time while I try to figure out what you're talking about.
I got you, bro. No, it's awesome. And he alluded to it there, guys. They opened a merch store. So anytime you want some Jets garb, I know, tell me about it, dude. The Fanatics site, they have some decent stuff, but either A, the sizing is weird, or B, the prices are weird, so something different. Check out jetsworldwide.printify.me. You can also find it on their channel page, so check that out.
Yep.
Exciting stuff, man. When did you guys launch
Our channel, or the channel was September.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you're
So
coming up on a year.
not
We're hitting.
still,
Well,
well, we still need
yeah.
like May, June, July, and August. So we have 4 months left to hit a year. Yeah, we'll see what
Awesome.
happens.
Snowball,
Seems
didn't
like
you hear me
forever,
earlier?
man.
Football's
What's that?
tomorrow, okay? Like
What's
football
tomorrow?
starts tomorrow, yeah.
Football starts tomorrow?
Yeah, basically. Pretty much.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I guess it does. Does it really?
Yeah. I mean, the draft is less than a week, and then you got,
Okay. Yes.
June, post-June cuts, training camp. Football's tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, keep telling yourself that, Dan. So I don't know. I can't attest to that. I have so many things going on in my life right now. I'm like Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, you know what? You just gave us the perfect segue. I appreciate that. I want to go around in a circle, guys, because I mean we don't always have four speakers, but I do want to hear from each of you individually, just around the horn. Maybe you don't have to spill your whole guts on what you think, but a couple sentences on how you think that conversation with Glenn and Rogers played out. I mean, yeah, in the moment, but like any ripple effects? Do you think the rest of the team feels a certain way about this? Yeah, just go ahead, Daniel. Go ahead. You want to go first?
Yeah. If we're to believe what Aaron said is true, and I don't want to think that he's lying necessarily. I think, as people always say, there's two sides to a story, and that doesn't mean that either side is necessarily lying, but you bring feelings and you bring emotions into it, then things seem more enunciated than on one side than another, where somebody may have said something one way, that other person felt it like as if there was intent behind it. So anyway, if we're to believe what Aaron said is true, um I think that it could have gone over better. I think that they could have approached it better. Yes. I get both sides though, because like even though Aaron said you could have just gave me a phone call, well, they wanted to sit down and talk about, like, hey, New York media is no joke. We don't want to fuck around with it. Like, let's do this together and do it in a way that everybody looks good. And we don't want Aaron to look bad. We don't want to look bad. Whatever. So I get that, but of course, Aaron in that moment is probably emotional, probably upset over the fact that it happened the way it did. So he's taken it a different way. So I think that Aaron Glenn was just already over Aaron Rodgers. I mean, if you want my opinion on it, I do think he could have handled it better. I'm not, but I think Aaron Glenn, if he did show frustration in that meeting, like the way Aaron makes it sound like, and the way he came off, like it sounds like Aaron Glenn was already over the Aaron Rodgers. And it doesn't even necessarily mean Aaron himself did anything about it. It's just he's sick of hearing it already from the media and everything else. I mean, we saw it in the pressers and stuff. He's like, he was already getting testy with the media over it. So I think he just wanted to bury that. He wanted to bury that hatchet and be done with it. And that's just how he came off. He came off a little bit like a dick, maybe, but he got the job done. And sometimes as a head coach, you have to be a dick to get the job done. So,
Fair.
I got no hard feelings towards Aaron. I got no hard feelings towards other Aaron, because there's two Aarons. And it is what it is, man. It was kind of a wild story to hear, and I hate to hear it get aired out, but you know how that is. Rogers likes to go on McAfee and do his thing, so it is what it is. We'll put it behind us, and that's that.
Snowball, what do you think on it? Anything different there?
Yeah, I think it was. It would have been different if he didn't go on McAfee and say anything. Like, if the media would have come to him and asked him questions and have him respond to questions, then it's a different feel, because he voluntarily goes on to the McAfee show and speaks his mind. So it was kind of like solicited but unsolicited when he made all of his statements. So at first I was kind of like taking the point of like, you know what? Like, it's really not him coming out saying it. It's like people asking him questions. But then again, he voluntarily goes on to that show. So, you know, and he kind of spills the beans. You do have, and I said it before, right? You have two alpha males talking it out, and they didn't really, according to Rogers, it's like they didn't even talk it out. They just never had a chance to like say anything. I understand what Aaron Glenn is saying. He is, and a lot of people said this before, right? He's a disciple of Parcells, where you don't have any celebrity players, right? Or like no celebrity quarterbacks. So, you know, Aaron's a celebrity quarterback, and Aaron Glenn held true to his word, and being a disciple of Parcells, said, you know, you're out of here. So, you know, bye. Was it a predetermined decision? I think it was. I think it was predetermined. I think, you know, they brought him in, and basically I don't know exactly why they couldn't do it over the phone or a FaceTime or whatever it is, or a Zoom meeting. I mean, it would have been more efficient that way. So there was some reason. You have to think about it. Why? What was the reason that they brought him in? What,
You know what?
does anyone have an opinion?
I wish we had the date, because the way this unfolded, it's almost like Rogers just showed up and like they weren't ready. Like the way he was running to get Muji and just blurted out, like, did this happen sooner than they thought?
Right.
I don't know.
Was he
I don't
early?
know.
Right. Was he early?
Timing helps.
Right.
But I don't want to take all Scott's nuggets. Scott, do you have anything to add on what you felt when you heard all this?
Well, I think Murph is right about the Aaron Glenn was just over it, even though they probably hadn't hardly talked. I think Snowball was right. It's predetermined. Woody wanted him gone. I think from the interview, it was pretty obvious based on Rogers, how he talked about the Jets, whose name never got mentioned. And it wasn't a name, but it was, I don't remember exactly what he said, but some things that were done poorly. That was all directed at Woody, obviously. I certainly think Aaron Glenn should have handled that better. Now, where's the truth? I doubt that it happened the first 20 seconds. You know, that just seems kind of crazy. But I don't know if any of you have ever had to fire anybody. You just don't bury the hatchet in their skull the second they walk in the door.
Good point.
You know, anyway, it could have been handled better, more professional. I think personally, Glenn was a little intimidated. It was almost like a scared animal that just wants to fight, you know, for themselves. We all knew that was going to happen. Did anyone really think Rodgers was going to be on the Jets next year? Some of us didn't.
No, but I wonder if that was part of it too. Like Glenn's maybe thinking, like, apparently he already came in, he talked to cafeteria staff and all this shit. Was Glenn thinking in his mind, like, we've already moved past this, like the audacity of this guy to just come in? I don't know, but it seemed like a defensive blurt out if it happened that way.
Yeah. So, you know, what I think is, and Snowball heard me mention this earlier, potential free agents are going to take notice of this story, because the players are far more of a brotherhood than they are with coaches. Now, money talks. That's going to get people somewhere, but people will take notice of that. You know, Glenn treated a guy who came to this sort of a clown show organization, gave back money, worked his tail off to get back on the field. And I know it wasn't under Glenn and Muji, and I don't even know if Muji carries any weight the more we're getting into this stuff. Players will take notice on that. And it's a different NFL than the Parcells years. You don't handle players that way anymore. That's not who the athletes are. So Anyway, that's my take on it.
I'm with all of you guys. And I don't even, I mean, I pretty much chimed in a little bit on all of yours, so I don't need a full spot to say it. But I feel like Glenn was just, it's obvious that Glenn had the same thing in his mind that a lot of the fans and the media has speculated. And that's that anytime Aaron would be in the room in the middle of a rebuild, undue attention will go his way when it shouldn't. It seems like that is kind of what Glenn said to Rogers. So, like, I guess the media and the fans were right. That could have been a subject they discussed. But I think all of us are in agreement where it's just like we're just over it. Like, let's just start fresh, really. And we're going to now.
Couldn't you just imagine it though? Could you imagine like Aaron Glenn standing in front of the whole team and giving his spiel, and then just Aaron Rodgers in the back just going, right? Like that's all you need him to do, and I could just see him doing that. So, whatever.
Yep.
So I did want to ask Snowball, because Snowball kind of heavily put emphasis on the fact that he thought it was premeditated.
Mm-hmm.
So the way it was laid out, at least the way that Aaron says it, I mean, we're only hearing the one side here, but the way that Aaron laid it out is like he told him, like, they asked him if he wanted to play football next year, and he said, I'm interested. If Aaron had responded to that in a more clear-cut fashion, like if he had said, I want to be a New York Jet next year and lead this team to success, do you think that would have changed their mind? Do you think that they would have responded differently, or they would have said, well, I'm sorry about your luck, dude?
No, I still think it would have been a, you're out of here syndrome. Like one of those, they just would have told him to leave anyway. Yeah, you're out of here, basically, right? I think that would have been the answer regardless. I think they just wanted to take his temperature. Speaking to somebody about, like, when he said, I'm surprised I didn't pick my brain about like the things that I thought about the team. I don't know. Like, again, Scott said it too, right? Have you ever had to fire somebody? If you fire somebody and then ask them, or if they ask them questions first and then fire them, like, it's just awkward. It's just a weird situation. So they didn't have any intentions of asking him anything about his thoughts about the team or whatever. I think they just brought him in to handle the aftermath. That was it. And again, I question why. Like, why did they have to bring him in person to go over the aftermath strategy? I don't know.
Hazel nailed it in the chat. That's what they were hoping for.
Hoping he'd say that he wanted to retire.
And everyone gets out clean,
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I don't know, man.
You're good. The thing that I will say is, like, he kind of towards the end of it let loose a little bit, saying he's like, well, it ended up being kind of a shit show. I don't know the exact wordage. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's like, it was kind of a shit show there anyway, or everything ended up being a shit show anyway while I was there, or whatever. And he kind of delved into that and kind of shit on the Jets a little bit. The thing about that is like, why was that a shit show? You could say coaching. Okay. He wanted to play for Saleh. Like, he wanted to play for that staff. He chose that staff.
He did.
He chose that team. That's what he wanted. They even brought in players that he worked with prior, that he knew, players that he liked, drafted guys that he liked, so on and so forth, all this. They did what they could to build around him or whatever. How are you going to turn around and say that it was a shit show or
like Dan,
or something of the like that?
Put yourself in Aaron Rodgers' shoes, right? Here he gets courted by the Jets, right? They fly out, they basically massage his feet and tell him to come over, and he does, and they're like, and and he says, a couple of players who he wants to bring over, and they bring him in, and then it was the I think it was the joint practice 2 years prior, and then the game that they played against Aaron, where they totally like destroyed them, right? Like that convinced Aaron Rodgers that he wanted to play for the Jets, pretty much. And then you come in, and now you have the coach that you wanted to play for, and yeah, it's a little bit of a rocky start, and then you turn around and the owner fires the guy that you wanted to play for. So for me, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm thinking, hey, this is pretty much a shit show. Like, it's pretty crazy that I came here for a certain person, and now you got rid of that person. Now the defense sucks, and now, we got the defensive coordinator like handling the entire team, and he's not and Aaron's been in the league for years, and now he's looking at this guy. He's like, this guy is not cut out to do this job. So I understand why Rodgers said it was a shit show, because it did turn into a shit show. For me, it did. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it did turn into a coaching. Woody always fucks shit up. I'm just telling you, he always does.
And
like,
that's who that comment was directed at.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Hayes is right, though. If we called him, that would have been a bigger story, to be honest. You called a 20-year Hall of Fame vet and fired him over text, or whatever. Here's the other thing, though. Like, I watched the entire segment on McAfee. I was watching McAfee before he even came on. But, like, when he came on, it seemed like the vibe was he was there to dispel rumors about him while he was gone off the grid. And when he was saying that, I was thinking to myself, well, what Jet related rumors were there about him while he was gone? The only thing I could come up with in my head was that we gave Rodgers the stipulation that he could only come back if he wouldn't go on McAfee anymore. And maybe there was another rumor, but that's the one rumor I thought that he could be there to squash. I don't know if that's maybe why he went on this tirade or not, but he made it clear that he wanted to tell his side of the story of those conversations. So,
and
who
that
knows?
he was begging for his job. There was that whole thing too.
So this is all a counter to wanting to squash those narratives. I mean, it makes sense to me anyway.
The thing is that, and I got to see people commenting about it before I ever saw the show. I was like, Jesus, what in the hell did he say? He talked a lot less about the Jets than he did everything else. The Steelers, his life, they kind of got through the Jet stuff pretty quick. And then it was, all the other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing though, is like we're gonna see the clips, we're gonna post the clips. New York media is crazy, New York Jets fans are crazy, fucking Jets Twitter is insane. So yeah, it gets blown up. Anything like that's gonna get blown up. The only thing that I can say is, like, thank God it's over with. Like, I was hoping that this would never happen. I had a feeling it was going to happen. I had a feeling there was eventually going to be a McAfee show, and he was eventually going to air out the dirty laundry and stuff like that. I was hoping he would just let bygones be bygones and never even, he's like, even if they asked him about it, he'd just be like, you know what? We just split. It is what it is, that type of thing. That's what I try to do if somebody asks me about some girl I was dating at some point and like, oh, what happened there? Hey, it just didn't work out. That's what you just say. It just didn't work out. That way you're not throwing anybody under the bus. Who needs that shit, man? No one needs that kind of negativity. So I wish it would have happened that way. It didn't, but it's done with. And like Scott said, he got it done with and over with in the show even. Like, he's like, here, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. This is how I feel about it. And we're done. Like, now let's talk other shit. Like,
but
I don't know. I was reading the Quran the other day, or whatever. He wants to talk about.
He is a pretty chill guy, though. By nature, Aaron Rodgers, he's a pretty chill guy. And for him to say what he said, something bit his ass. Like something,
That's
right? Something kicked him in the butt. Like he felt as though like he got twisted a little bit, and I don't know. I'd love to know what the truth of the matter is.
Poor though. Like this is
That-
not the first time we've seen Aaron Rodgers like that. I mean, he's basically telling Adam Schefter and Diana Rossini to fuck off. I mean, come on. Like he's spicier than he makes it seem. Like he is a chill guy, but he definitely has a spicy side to him. And I don't really have any issue with Aaron. Like even after this, I wish it would have worked out differently, but like whatever, man. Like the dude's a 40-year vet. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's earned the right to get frustrated from time to time. Whatever, man. He's still way better than fucking Tom Brady. That's what I can say.
I didn't think it was as bad as I expected, seeing fan reactions before I saw the actual interview. I thought, so what? He gave his version of what happened. It wasn't a brutal attack on anybody from the Jets organization. But Murph, I don't think it's over. I heard, I think it was Jake Asman saying, okay, good. This is the last time we'll ever talk about this stuff. And I tuned in today for a couple minutes, and the whole thing was still Aaron Rodgers. And what if he plays for the Steelers and comes in and they beat? It's going to be a while before it's over. I think
It'll be over when he goes to another team, I feel like.
Yeah.
But they need a next Aaron Rodgers story to bury the last one, in my opinion.
I did hear that if he does go to the Steelers, he will start the season on the injury list, though, because he will have a bruised ego.
If you walked me into that one, I wouldn't have.
Well, and what if the Jets start off 1-6 next year and Fields is bad? It's all going to resurface.
Of course.
Yeah, and you got the Pittsburgh Steelers coming into MetLife, which, to be honest, if I'm going to one Jet game at MetLife, I'm not picking that one. I'm not. Like, I'm picking a chill game, That'll be a sellout anyway, but Leany, big fella, I see you guys in the chat. You guys are cooking. Nick T's down there. Appreciate everyone for being here. If you can, smack the like button. Also, Jets Worldwide, blue link down below the video. Click that, hit subscribe, come right back here right now. We're waiting. We are going to get into other topics. Like I said, the draft is 6 days away.
Jeez, let's do.
Oh boy. Before we get into that, Jericho Cotchery was a head coach and his college folded. Should we bring him in for this staff?
Jericho Cotchery. Who's that? I'm kidding. Should we bring him in? I don't know. You want to bring him as we do have a hell of a receivers coach.
We do.
Yeah.
I don't see the need.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah. Where was he coaching, Dane?
Give me a sec. I could tell you, but they closed their doors.
I
know
love
that.
Koch. I loved him as a player and everything, but the whole previous players becoming coaches, you know how rare that is that works out and they actually do a good job, and you know what I mean? I don't know. If anything, it just gives you a reason to end up disliking that person after the fact because they sucked as a coach. I don't know. If you bring him in, in a Cromartie position that we did last year, how he's just kind of an assistant, not a mentor, but a person being mentored into a coaching role or something like that. So,
Aaron Glenn.
If they want to do that, something like that, that's fine. But
I know Sean Jefferson is well respected, but I don't think our receivers had a hell of a year last year. I mean, Corley, we got nothing out of. So maybe I'll go against the grain and say if we got someone who would come in and help, I'd take them. But maybe that's Sean Jefferson blasphemy. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We
I,
do
I
need. Good.
no,
Go
no.
ahead.
I mean, it would be okay to bring him in as like, I don't know, he was a hell of a receiver, so I wouldn't picking his brain about different ways of coaching might be pretty cool.
So
I
you
wouldn't
would
mind it.
pick his brain, just not Aaron Rodgers.
I might pick Aaron Rodgers' nose, but not his brain. Yeah.
Sorry. That's the end of the
Fine.
Rodgers talk, I promise. Uh,
Aaron
well,
Rodgers.
let's just get into it. I brought you guys here specifically, all four of you, because I did want to hear your draft takes. Sorry, I'm just gonna use and abuse you for your takes. No, you guys over on Worldwide had a very good segment with Dylan Terraman. A lot of familiar names he was spouting, because they are ones on our board. I was a little taken back. He likes Noel over Higgins, but I'm going to take that up with him. But let's go around the room. I mean, we could do a mock if we wanted to, but that's up to you guys. I want to know what you feel like, maybe before your final answer, for who you think we need at 7. Is anyone like, there's a narrative out there that 3 guys are in play. You don't have to just believe that. Is there more than that in play? Is it a different range of guys? Just talk to me in general about pick 7, and maybe the direction you think we ought to go.
Snowball, you want to take
Whoever
it?
wants, just
I was like, who's speaking first? All right,
You're
I'll go first.
start. Yeah.
At 7, I don't want to pick at 7. That's really my philosophy, is that I don't want to pick at 7. I would love to fall back. I would love to fall back to my sweet spot would be San Francisco. Like, I think San Francisco would be 11, right? I think 11 is San Francisco. I would love to go fall back like 4 spots, right? Maybe get some extra collateral, maybe get an extra third or whatever it is, and use that. But if I had to make a pick, I look at last year and I say, what was our biggest deficit? What did we lack the most? And I know it's not the sexy pick, although I would love to make a sexy pick. Like, to me, Warren is a sexy pick. Like, he's a sexy pick, and a lot of people are like, it's too early for a tight end. It's too early for this. It's too early for that. And my answer is, who gives a shit? Like, honestly, it's a crapshoot every year. You never know who's going to hit and who's going to fail. So you go with what you know. You go with what you think you need. Warren would be a cool pick at 7. Don't get me wrong. He's he can block and he can catch, and that's kind of like what I feel we need. But bigger than that is we got trucked when people were running the ball. Like, we really got trucked. So I really wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't be mad at. I think the depth at right tackle is good. So I would believe that either I would go weapon at Tyler Warren, or I would go defensive tackle, to tell you the truth, like at 7. So, best available defensive tackle at 7 would, I know that a lot of people don't like that idea, but you do have a defensive minded head coach, and I would definitely see them doing something like that. I don't know.
so tackle is not on your board like everyone else's.
No. Right tackle is not on my board. It's not that I don't value the right tackle position. I do value the right tackle position, but I believe you can get away. I know that Membu is on everyone's board. That's the guy, and I have watched tape on him, and like, he is extraordinary. He really is an extraordinary athlete, an extraordinary player. But if you have the right person next to your right tackle, which we have ABT, and I know I've heard people say it before, that, and I've said it in the past too. He's fragile, or he has an injury history, but he's pretty good last year. It wasn't bad, but then, like, he's got things coming out. Like, he's due soon. So I don't know what to say. Like I would go defensive tackle, and your right tackle kind of depends on your right guard. So I think you could get away with not Membu. Later on in the draft, maybe we could get a right tackle. But
Before the others chime in, and
Yeah.
I want to hear from them, but would you do anything with AVT's contract before week 1?
yes, I would. I would definitely settle that before I made any rash decisions.
Makes sense.
I would take care of his contract first.
Okay.
I don't know what that's
Daniel.
going to entail, but yes.
Daniel, you looked ready to pitch a take. You want to go, brother?
I just want to say your draft take is wrong, Snowball.
That's okay. You can. You're entitled to your opinion.
I'm entitled to my wrong opinion, huh?
It's not wrong.
So I think I don't know, man. Like if we're going to be a hard nose, I think most of us think that Aaron Glenn is going to shoot for a hard nosed team, right? Like a good defense, run the ball, like just hard nosed physical team. If you're going to do that, you build your trenches, So the Membu thing makes sense. Like, why not have the best fucking offensive line in the league or a top 3 offensive line in the league and have it for years to come, potentially? So to me, I think that's tempting for our coaching staff. So I think Membu is very much in play, and I think that's probably my guy at 7. Of the guys that seem reasonably like they're probably going to be there. I'm not against the Warren thing, although I would like to trade back if I'm taking and get a little extra draft capital. Really, I want to trade back in general, and I think that's something we all agree on. We're all like, get back to 11 or 13 or something like that and get a little extra something. But I think that it's Membu, and at 42, if I don't know if he'd be available, maybe a Derek Harmon at 42, defensive tackle, just solidify those trenches. Or
slow down. Slow down.
We're in the first round. We're in the first round, Daniel.
It's all good. Final answer though, Membu. Warren.
I'll say Warren.
Is the B? Good.
It's tough because like I kind of want to phrase it who our first pick will be, because if it's Warren at 10, you should still be right, Snowball. You know what I mean? And let's say that like our first pick, regardless of if it's 7 or not. Scott, you're a Cam Ward guy, right?
Yeah. No, Sanders.
Gross.
Shador for sure.
I'm Membu at this point, although he may not even be available, but I'm Membu. And Dane, you had mentioned have our first 2 rounds ready. And I doubt it would happen, because I've seen this guy go from early first to mid second. I'd love Grant on the DL, on the D line. If we could go Membu and Grant and then tight ends and receivers in the 3rd and 4th, I'll be a lot happier than last year.
You want to throw 5, 6, and 7 in there too, Scott?
Well, I'll tell you what I don't want to do in 5, 6, and 7.
Yes.
Is draft 3rd stringers when there's. Anyway, let's not get into all that again.
I mean, something you got to consider too, like we have a brand new special teams coach, like who may hate everyone on our special teams, and he may want all our day 3 picks for all we know. But final answer for you is Membu at 7, Scott, right?
Yeah, assuming he's available. I mean, who knows how this goes? If something crazy happens and one of the guys we think are going top 4 is available, okay. But Membu, I think, is probably going to be it.
Okay. I will say, Snowball, like I'm so torn, because if we slide, Membu's off the table, and I think it's very likely we slide. even if it's at a discount, like who the hell cares? Like if you know you're still going to get, if you have 3 guys to choose from, why wouldn't you slide 2 or 3 picks?
Sure.
So it's tough. I think if we stick and pick, it is Membu, or hey, New England could take Membu. Like, let's just face it, we don't know. New England takes Membu, then what? Are you guys going to take Campbell over Warren, or are you going to switch to Warren? Like, it's tough. But this is my final answer for the channel. So, since so at 7, I would say Membu by a hair. Since I think we're going to slide even at least 40%, that tips the scale. I think my final answer is going to be Warren. So 2-2. I just knotted it up.
You just keep flip flopping every day, Dane. We had you on Membu 2 days ago.
What are the odds we pick at 7?
I think it's probably 90% likely we're picking a 7. You got to find a trade partner and the right one with the right compensation.
Sanders. Derek Carr.
I think we can all agree that it's a 1A, 1B with those two, right? As our first pick in the draft. And I'm fine. I'm honestly fine with either one. When have we had a stud tight end? I mean, Jesus. So that would be fine too. If you did you want to get in the second round? I'm chomping at the bit.
Yeah, you are. I mean, hell, Scott just gave us his 4 rounds, so I don't blame you. Daniel,
hey, real quick, Johnny is saying Carter in the chat, and we'd all love him, right? But he's not going to be there at 7.
I mean, if we're including Carter and Hunter, then you guys would need to give me a big board of 7 guys, and that we don't have time for all that. But
yeah,
yes, Daniel, you're up next with round 2. What I will add though is if we take Membu, like dude is what 21, and Olu is like 20. That's really appealing. Also, Olu did not finish last year healthy, which scares the hell out of me. Everybody's just whatever. That's fine. It scares me, man, because he didn't start the year and he still didn't finish. It's tough. If we take Warren at 7, I think that's a clear indicator we're going to use him more than just a tight end. And that combats everyone. You can't take a tight end at 7. If we take him at 7, that means he's going to be like 4 roles in our offense, all over the place, wildcat, like all that shit. So, are you really taking a tight end at 7 if you use him all over the place? I don't know.
How mad would you be if we took a tight end at 7 and they gave him the fucking Corley treatment? Fucking Yak King, he's going to be an integral part of the offense. Never gets a snap.
Nah, man, no.
But that was like that was so like I don't know. That reminds me of like Denzel Mims. Right? Not the draft choice, but like just the usage. Like he can't learn the route tree. So
his
keep
rookie
him on
year
the sidelines.
got used. He had almost like 650 yards his rookie year. Adam Gase figured out how to use him.
Yeah.
Hey,
and then he sucked.
Did we just hear Dane try to talk himself out of his Warren pick and back into Membu? Last chance, Dane.
It's buyer's remorse.
I think it's more than 90-10 that we're sliding, because I think that, dude, this Derek Carr New Orleans Saints need a quarterback now, and you got the Giants and the Saints and the Steelers all needing quarterbacks, plays right into our hands. So I think it's more than 90-10. That's why I'm sticking with the weapon. But on to pick 42, or hey, maybe it'll be 38, or maybe it'll be 45. Our second draft pick choice is next. Daniel, go ahead, brother.
Well, if I'm assuming that I'm going Membu in the first, I'm eyeing a guy like if he's there, it gets even harder when you get in that early second round, because a lot of those guys that you think are going to make it to the second round end up going in the first. So I I I think Derek Harmon maybe is a good potential get for us. I know you Duck fans would love that. If it's Warren, and you still have that big hole at right tackle, another option is Donovan Jackson from Ohio State. Go Buckeyes. National champs, just saying. But yeah, if I'm going Membu first round, I'm probably going Derek Harmon second round if he's available.
Me?
Yeah, let's just go clockwise.
Okay, so we'll just go this and then.
To be honest, Snowball, when I passed it off to you earlier and said, "Oh, you're the guest, you go first," I was like totally looking up a big board at the time. That's why.
Yeah, that's good. That's okay.
We'll go clockwise from now on.
I knew the assignment. I did my homework, and Dane said, "Come with 2 picks." So I came with 2 picks. Warren 1, and then if available, because I went weapon first, now I'm going to go trenches. And another Oregon person, Josh Connolly Jr., I think would be a fantastic tackle.
It would. Yes, he would.
Yeah. So that would be my other choice, Josh Connolly. And then
that would be
round,
excellent, by the way. That would be, dude, if we landed a weapon of Warren's caliber and got Dom C's OT1 at 42, hey, let's go, man. Let's go.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't think I don't think he's getting out of the first round.
Yeah. Well, then if he doesn't, then I have another pick.
Well, here's the other thing. Maybe we slide to 9, like Snowball said, to get Warren, and then we come up using our collateral from 42 to get a tackle. It's feasible. But it's not when you take them. It's our first 2 selections. You got Membu and Harmon. And final answer, Snowball?
Yeah, Connolly.
Okay. Warren Connolly.
If available.
All right, Scott. You are up, sir.
Well, I already gave it to you, didn't I? But I'm thinking like Murph. I want someone on the defensive front that can clog stuff up. So I could go either way. Assume, neither one of those guys might be available, but if there's a high quality D tackle at that spot, that's where I'm going.
Who do you got your eye on, though? We need a name, sir.
Grant.
Huh?
Grant.
Okay.
Kenneth Grant would be another excellent choice.
It gave us Kenny. Than our secondary got all last year. The first go around. Isn't that bad?
Yeah. That's pretty bad.
Tough. Is this the part where I say we're going to trade Brees and draft a running back? Oh, sorry.
We know who you want. Do it.
You said you were going to do that in the second hour. This is still in the first hour.
You gotta wait till people get about 4 beers deep at least.
Yeah. Red nose down there. I heard him say 4 beers is that's when you get wild and crazy. Although I will say, these guys know me. I love me some Omarion Hampton. Oh my God. If you put him with Braylon, at 42 though. And
style running backs though.
What's that?
Aren't they similar style running backs though? Isn't Omarion Hampton like kind of a bruiser?
He is.
No, he's more of a home run.
He's a little bit of both, to be honest.
I would think.
Okay.
He's definitely got. I mean, that's one thing our offense lacks, right?
I'm not going to pretend I know.
He's definitely a home run hitter, but I also think he's no pushover either. But we're talking pick 42, which I'm not even sold we're picking at, to be honest, at all, to be honest. it might even be more likely we slide or trade up at 42 than at 7.
Mm.
Coming into this show, I wanted to say Higgins, but Dylan just eviscerated that choice earlier on Jets Worldwide's channel. So, like, I am really giving it pause. And also, I leaned Warren. So, like, and there's people out there that want to go like offense. I just don't know if it's going to be pass catcher to start off. Fine. Oh, fuck, man. I'm gonna say we're gonna go with a duck. Connerly, I'm with you, Snowball. Or wait, no, that gives us. I can't do that.
See, we're together. You and I. It's meant to happen. Meant to. How do I point? This way. Yeah. Right. It's meant to happen. Let's. Yeah.
The problem is, I do think that we slide and we're going to have capital. And then at 42, we're going to want to come up. So, like, I see the path to get both. But in the interest of being different, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say Higgins, like I came into the show wanting to do. You could probably put Kyle Williams there if we reach on him, but he is like shooting up the boards. Someone even has him. Chris Sims has him as wide receiver 1.
Two.
After Travis Hunter. Yeah. After Travis Hunter.
And he flip-flopped the Iowa State receivers as well.
Chat, you're probably thinking this is a terrible production by me, but you're just seeing me work through it right now, live. Like, Higgins' final answer. Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to phone a friend?
I'm honestly, that's one thing. Like, I've been so like weapon head. Like, I've wanted a receiver so bad, and then my first 2 picks, I went trenches both ways. I don't know. I want the veggies.
Hey, Murph, didn't we just get a message from Dane about eating? He's decided to eat the vegetables, and now he just went tight end receiver.
Yes.
That's it. Pick 7. That's it. Pick 7.
All right, round 3.
We'll see. Hey, do you have a third?
Yes, and no one's going to like it.
Okay. Daniel, do you have one so we can keep the order, or do you want to circle back?
Come back to me. I'll have one by the time.
All right. No one is going to agree with me. I believe so strongly. So what's that? You know what I'm going to say.
I do.
But I believe so strongly in this person that I don't want him to go to the Raiders. I don't want him to go to any other team but the New York Jets. And you can hate me, but Will Howard is the steal of the draft. And you all look at me and laugh, hit record, whatever it is, turn this into a short, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to do to this. But mark my words, because this will be historic. This is history. Will Howard has all of the traits of an amazing quarterback. In my opinion, I have watched tape on all these quarterback prospects, and why people are ignoring this guy, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. He's on the main stage. He's a winner. He just has a good attitude. Gruden loved him. So, just telling you, it's amazing that people are overlooking this guy. I have looked at the other candidates, and I have faults with all of them except for him. So I don't know what to tell you, but that's my 3rd round pick. 3rd round.
I like it.
Will Howard.
It. You know what? That's not a new pick for you.
It's not.
I think before the combine, even I heard you talking Howard. So
I was
give you
talking
credit,
Will
man.
Howard last year when he was playing for Kansas State. I was like, this guy is phenomenal, and I don't know.
Do you have
And then he went to Ohio State and he kicked ass there.
Do you have a pro comp?
A pro comp to no, because people always want to bait you into the Josh Allen comparison, and I can't. I will not compare him to Josh Allen, and I will not compare him to Ben Roethlisberger or whatever you want to say. Will Howard is Will Howard, and he has unique traits that to me make him a very good candidate as a quarterback. There is no guarantee. I can just see it now that Justin Fields leads us to like 9 wins, and then what are you going to do? You can't get one of the top QB prospects next year, so pocket this guy. That's all I'm saying. Goodbye.
Fair. Without giving my third rounder, Scott, I do want to comment on your thing, but let me wait. Scott, do you have you do, but in the interest of me clipping this and this segment being third round picks, can you state your third round selection now?
First, I want to say I like Will Howard. I wouldn't take him in the third round, but man, that guy, from what I've watched of him, he shows up in big games. He gets the job done. Third round, I'm taking the best receiver or tight end that I think is available. Hard to project who's going to be. Will Kyle Williams be available in the third round? Probably not, right? He seems to be flying up the boards. Dane's guy, another duck, Turd Ferguson, but hard to project who's going to be available in the third round. Jalen Noel. So it's one of those guys, something like that.
I think I mentioned this earlier, but just to keep it on the channel, like Ferguson, Daniel Jeremiah, I shared with these guys earlier, like he said in a podcast on The Athletic, Turd Ferguson is going in the second round. Terrence. He's a second round pick. So like, I don't know where all these tight ends are going, but like it is a tight end rich draft. So interesting take. I like it. For me, third round, I am going to be extremely similar with Snowball again because I'm going with a passer of the football.
Whoa.
Not Will Howard, though, unfortunately. I'm going with Jalen Milroe. Sorry, I don't know if he'll be there. He's going to be in the green room, probably getting cooked. I think we are the one that say, hey, buddy, from the green room to the green locker room, gimme Jalen Milroe. If he's available at 73, he's a Jet.
I did not expect to hear Jalen Milroe in the third round. I think for sure he's second, maybe even a first.
Yep.
My God, there is so many ways to go, but for me, I got to go with some kind of a weapon. You could go with Turd Ferguson. You could go maybe a Harold Fannin Jr. I'm going to throw a name out here. I don't know if he'll be there. God, I have no idea how these receivers are going to fall, but I'm going to say Trey Harris. I think maybe Trey Harris. And also, Snowball, I got to tell you, buddy, I'm a Will Howard guy too, but I was hoping to get him in the fifth.
I'm just, I don't want to lose him. That's all.
Fair. And once day 3 hits, like, why not grab a few of these there's going to be a run on quarterbacks at some point. I don't know when it'll be, but the third's as good a time as any, I guess. You guys.
It sure sounds like Milroe's going to go in the first.
Hey, then I just burnt my pick, didn't I? I'm an idiot.
It might be an early second, but
it sounds like 65 guys are going in the first.
right.
No, when they invited him though to the green room, that probably did burn any bridge of him lasting. As long as we need him to last, who knows? But Daniel, you got to step away. I do have a caller on the line in Snowball. If you have a little more time to take a call,
I can do about another 5 minutes.
Okay, awesome. Without further ado, this guy is hopping on. He got disconnected a few times. I think he is now stabilized. Let's hear from him. None other than Charles Gorman.
Whoa.
Hey, Charles.
Hey,
Charles
Mr. Scott.
Charles is never
Snowball.
stable. Yes. Hi, Charles. How are you?
Are you coming to the draft party, Snowball?
Are you having a draft party?
Draft party from Jake Asman.
Oh, Jake Asman's draft party. Yes, I'll be there.
That's what
But
I'm
if
saying.
you were
yeah.
having one, I would have gone to that one.
I had to set that up. But yeah, I'm definitely going to Jake Asman's draft party. How you doing, Snowball?
Not bad. Doing pretty good, Charles. How about yourself?
Not too bad myself, thank you. Here's the thing about the whole Membu Warren situation. Look, first and foremost, I have to clarify something. Opinions can be wrong, but not all opinions are wrong. Just because you have a different opinion doesn't mean you're wrong. That's
You're right.
number one. And number two, look, I do agree with Snowball. We do have decent depth at the right tackle position, but we have to quit. But the thing I'm questioning about the right tackle is the talent. You know, Carter Warren's met to me, Okorafor to me has something to prove to me. Like, I haven't really seen much of him. So that's why I'm kind of leaning towards Membu in the first round, because he's a stud from what we've seen so far in his football career, especially at college. That he's a stud. He's rarely allowed pressures. He's rarely allowed sacks. But then I can understand why we would get either Warren or Loveland. Loveland's very talented. He's a very solid tight end. But then again, Warren, you know, people say that his stats in his first 3 years, he wasn't very good. That's because he was playing behind Theo Johnson, who's now on the Giants. So Tyler Warren last year really thrived when he was given more of a time to shine. So I can definitely see him being the first pick for the Jets in the draft. But here's the thing, though. Either way, we're going to need both depth at the offensive line and a weapon. Now, as for the other picks, I wouldn't mind either getting Restrepo, the star wide receiver right from Miami.
Yep.
That would be very good. I like him. He's very talented. I know people want an edge rusher. I know Johnny Boy, you shout out to him, wants Abdul Carter, but I see him either going top 3 or top 5.
Charles, this is what you want the Jets' first, second, and third picks to be, not anyone else. Your final
I'm
answer.
just saying, I wouldn't mind the idea of Abdul Carter. He's very good. He's very talented. To me, he's about the same size as Micah Parsons, but maybe a little bit bigger in terms of weight. But personally, I want Membu, right tackle, with the 7th pick. If he's not taken. Second round, I would not mind taking Loveland, because I think Warren may be already gone by then. One mock draft I did, they had him going early in the second round to, I think, Jacksonville, which I found very surprising. And the third pick, I would mind taking a receiver, or I could see him going ballsy here and taking a quarterback in the third round, which I just did in my mock draft simulator. I traded up with the Chargers, the LA Chargers, and I took Kyle McCord from Syracuse. I liked what I saw from him. I know he wears number 6 as he grew up a Jet fan because of the Sanchez, a.k.a. Mark Sanchez. But we'll see, you know. Those are my top 3 picks. For now, anyway. But
I like it. I like it a lot, sir.
He did it.
Snowball, I know you're winding down.
Yeah.
While we get a little more out of Charles, I think we got Johnny Boy in the back. Do you have any?
He's coming
parting...
in. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah, only one of you in the room at one time.
It can't happen. The 2 of us can't. No. Parting words?
Yes.
I will give you some parting words. Okay. Whatever happens, happens. You know, we are a victim of this coaching staff. We seem to have a head coach who knows what he wants to do. So God bless him. Let him do what he has to do. Aaron Muji, his sidekick, whatever he wants to get done, let him get it done. Check out Jets Worldwide every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jets Wide. Jets Worldwide, all one word. And check out our merch store that just got launched this week. It is jetsworldwide.printify.me. So check out the stuff. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, you're an idiot. And if you have not liked this video, you're a double idiot. So do that. All right. Take care.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for having me on.
We got to do a tradition right before week 1 every year, Snowball. So at the latest, I want to hear from you early September. Okay.
All right. Or over the summer.
Yes.
That'd be good. I'm off. So
it's
a good thing.
Hey,
all right, man.
Have a good night.
You too, man. Thanks so much.
Right.
Take care. Scott,
see ya.
Dan, Gorman, Dane, thank you.
Yep. Later. All right, dude. Why don't we just keep it up? We have a requirement, a appetite for 1+ Jets Worldwide member tonight. So we just lost one. We got to bring another one on. Johnny boy.
Congrats on your Mets, buddy.
Oh, what up, Lindor, baby? Let's go.
What is that? 13-7. Let's fucking go, man.
Speaking Spanish again? What are you talking about, Johnny?
What up, Dana? What up, Scott? What's going on, man?
Johnny.
What up, Charles?
Hey, Johnny, who's got a better record, the Mets or the Yankees?
They got the same record.
I think same record right now.
Oh, do they really? Shit,
Yeah.
I was
13-7. Yeah.
I was trying to give Johnny an opportunity to boast. Didn't realize the Mets were better not too long ago.
Yankees. I think the Yankees just won tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Weaver pitched a hell of a game, and actually Weaver closed down the game, but Carlos Rodon pitched a nice game. Struck out 9, walked 4, gave up no runs, only 2 hits. Pretty damn good, man. Goldsmith's hitting the hell out of the ball.
What's going on, boys?
Let me ask you this before we get off the Mets and Yankees topics. Johnny, does the Mets have any torpedo bats? I don't know.
They do. Lindor uses it.
Seriously?
Lindor's been using it for a while. The torpedo bats have been around for a minute now, and
a lot of teams use them.
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm not somebody here that is like, oh my God, it's the torpedo bats, and that's why the Yankees and Judge are doing it, whatever. It's still the beginning of the season. It's a long season to go itself. We were supposed to be struggling in the very beginning of the season because of our starting pitching and bullpen, and it's been the complete opposite. So I'm happy. I'm hyped. Soto has been doing wonders for this team all around itself. So I like it. Look, he gets on base. That's all you ever want from a baseball player, to continue to keep getting on base, letting the other people get the tries and bring in runs. So I like it.
Yeah, you don't hear people complaining about the torpedo bats anymore since, the Yankees quit hitting the home run every other at bat. It's like, okay, that's all gone now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's the same shit, different day.
Hey, some guy on the Oakland, well, I don't know what the Las Vegas, Sacramento A's, Oakland A's, is
So they're just called the Athletics now.
The leading the league in home runs. Wonder if he's using the torpedo bat.
What the fuck?
So what's up, boys? What we talking about tonight, man? I'm ready.
Not baseball.
All right.
I can tell you.
Your first 3 picks, Johnny. First 3 rounds.
First 3 rounds, I'll make it pretty quick and easy, man. I'm probably gonna go. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I'm kind of on the same boat with Snowball. If it's up to me, I've been on team try to get more if you can, right? Of course, but gun to my head, I gotta pick stick at 7. If Membu is there, give me Membu. Build up that line. Give me another defensive lineman, second round. Third, give me a weapon, wide receiver. I really like the kid from TCU. Nobody's talking about him, but I like that guy. Beck, yep.
Beck or Betch, whatever it is.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And I have to say this. He kind of made sense in what he said a little bit earlier, that it did kind of worry me with the Olu injury. Not saying that this player would be the player that I would say would potentially get him, but Ozzy, man, bring in more depth for me. You know, why the hell not? You know, so that, and then 4th round, give me a safety. And I think we're good.
Didn't you just pick 5 guys? I think you just went 5 rounds, Johnny.
Did I? I don't know, man. I think Membu, right?
Defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Betch.
You got to pick a player. We need specific players.
The defensive lineman from Texas. I like that kid. Oh my god, I can't think of his name. Who's the butler from Batman?
Alfred
Collins. That cat.
Alfred Collins. That's an interesting name.
You know what? Connor Rogers has him mocked to us in the 3rd round. I'll take it, man. I'll take it. He also said maybe Kevin Winston Jr., the safety enforcer. I'd take either one, man.
100%, man. And
I mean, recall using Batman to recall the defensive tackle from Texas.
Yeah, that was
Alfred, what's the dude's name?
Right.
That was slick.
Hey, I'm just saying, guys, like, that's how my brain works. I have to relay something that is somewhat of a similar take to it. And it was Batman, Alfred, Texas, Collins, boom. So that's where I went. I really, 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 really like Fanning a lot. You know, I would
Dakota Fanning.
No, from Bowling Green.
Oh,
tight end from Bowling Green.
Yeah.
Hey, Charles,
I
they're
drafted
both,
Mason Taylor from.
Charles, they're both tight ends. Either Fanning. Either way you go.
True that. But I think that's where I would go, man. I'm team continue to keep building the trenches. I just think that to sustain winning, you got to build those and continue to keep building that, and everything will fall in place, man. So it's my take. It's not sexy, but it'll get the job done.
Fall in place. Yeah, boy, it's been a while, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this. If you had to predict, I just want a yes or no. Do the Jets do a trade back at any point on day 1 or 2?
Day 1, yes.
Yes.
I could see it day 1 more than day 2, to be honest.
I don't think it's happening.
All right. I'm a yes as well. Not on day, like either. Like I said, I think it's more likely at 42 than 7, but I think it is at least once. I'm hoping, man. Like, I don't want Muji to just be like asleep at the wheel and just wait for the draft to come to him. Like, at least Douglas, you had to stay on the edge of your seat.
Hey,
that's true.
I mean, you didn't get fired at the edge of your seat like Glenn, but
is anybody going to watch the broadcast of the draft that Joe Douglas is part of?
I will.
I won't. I'm probably watching the Danger Zone.
I'll be in the Danger Zone. Unless Dane has a side thing going.
Johnny boy, you're not coming to the Jake Asmus draft party?
Nah, I was just up there, man. Nah, I can't, man.
I would love to meet you in person, buddy.
Yeah, me too, bro. Dude, if I go there, you're gonna go home chopped up, bro.
What I was gonna say to you was that Joe Douglas is gonna be on Fox or ESPN.
Fox.
Okay. Well, I wish him on the best of luck.
He'll be on with Jay Glazer. Honestly, though, like everybody makes plans for what they're gonna watch on the draft, dude. But just wait until that day. There is gonna be every single channel live and pop in. Their chats are gonna be boom, 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 boom. You're not even gonna get to be seen. So just know that we will be live here. There probably won't be a lot of people here, but you can be seen, heard, and you can call in and tell us what you think. So if you want a slow, chill, quiet channel, we'll be here. Charles, if you want to call in from the event, you can get on screen as well.
What, Thursday? You guys will be on Thursday? Oh, that's right. I'm an idiot. You guys will be doing the draft.
Yeah,
I'm such a jackass sometimes.
We are. Well, we're putting most of our energy into Friday for sure. But I mean, we'll be live. You're gonna get our live reaction every night.
I know. Ryan, Green Bean, and Matt O'Leary are gonna do their annual coverage of the draft. Look, man. I know not everyone is religious, but keep praying that we have a good draft, man. Just keep praying. Keep praying, brother. That's all I'm going to say. Keep on praying that we have a good draft, that this regime knows exactly what the fuck they're doing. Excuse me for all the little kids that are watching. But hopefully they know what they're doing and they care about the future of this team, not just for a freaking paycheck. Because we're tired of the bullshit. We're tired of the losing. We want some damn competence in this motherfucker.
It's okay, son. It's okay.
Dude,
it's okay, son.
Later, Charles. Honestly, you can jumpstart a rebuild if you pick the right guys, like first and second round. You can really get this thing going in the right direction.
You know what I might hope for most with the draft and the draft coverage? I hope Joe Douglas is like 12 nooners deep, dude. I want to see him like he was up on stage when we're going to get him.
We're going to get him.
I want to see him like that during the draft coverage. That's what I want to see.
Dude, I'm hyped for the draft. Like I was trying not to get myself amped up for it, but I can't help it, man. Like it's the start of something new. You know, you got potential players that could come in and be impactful players for us from the very get. And we could see something magical happen this season potentially, right? And we've been rocking with them from the jump. I don't know, man. Like, dude, after the whole Aaron Glenn argument and everything, you guys knew I was a big Flores guy. I wanted Flores and whatnot. But to me, I think Glenn showing that was like, yo, I got the bigger balls, homie. This is my squad. And I liked it.
Dude, Zoo Kruger made a tweet. I would suggest everyone go check it out. It's hilarious, though. It's got Glenn's face and Roger's face, and it was. I'll give you the vibe. The vibe was it was Glenn AI talking like, "Who's your daddy?" Whisper it. "Who's your daddy?" Check that tweet out, though. Hilarious stuff. We got Scott. He'll be back, guys. Charles, hey, call-in line's still posted if you want to join. Is there a pick? Like, can you guys name anyone that you are just dead set we better not freaking draft?
Easy.
Fair. Any reason why?
Because if we get a quarterback at 7, I'm going to be super pissed. I don't want it. Like, I would not be upset if we do not pick a draft in this coming up draft itself. Like, no QB, I'm good with that.
Any others? Daniel, you got any players you are just dead set against?
Yeah, I mean, Dart is probably the That's a good one, especially if you're talking about the first round. I really kind of don't want to deal with the Sanders circus either. That might be the one for me is Sanders, which he probably won't be available anyway. But I really don't want any part of that. I just don't think it'll blow over well. Not here in New York. I don't honestly think he's that great of a prospect anyway. Um, so probably Sanders, yeah.
That's why you're my co-host, man, because that's exactly who I was thinking. But then when you were talking, I was like, who else? And I'm like, okay, Isaiah Bond. I don't want Isaiah Bond. When you have a sexual assault that's happening, like the kid may be innocent. I'm not saying anything. It's an alleged. We don't even need alleged. I'm sorry. Keep it away. Uh, Scott, is there anyone that you just are dead set we just should not in any way draft, and not just in round one, but in general?
Well, I think the round is kind of what determines that. Like if we took Jackson Dart in round 6, would anybody really care? Not me. I don't want them to draft a kicker, and I gotta. Sorry, Johnny, but that TCU not. Oh no, you were talking Betch. There's another TCU receiver that is getting some props, but man, he reminds me too much of the ex-TCU receiver that's with the Chargers right now that drops the ball all the time. And I've seen some people putting him up pretty high. It's like, I don't want to touch that guy. So, yeah, I don't want to draft a kicker. I think they can get one of those as a free agent, a non-drafted free agent.
So you're leaning more toward the value aspect of it, but I'm curious, like, is there any character issue? Like, is there anyone you're taking off your board?
Well, that
for the New York Jets
because of character issues, or just guys. I don't want the TCU receiver, not Betch, their other receiver. I can't remember his name. Savion Williams. There we go, Christopher.
Dude, he's all over it. Christopher's killing it.
Yeah. But
yes, he is. He is.
Hey, let me. Oh, my bad.
Are you talking just first round pick? Someone I absolutely.
No, I'm just saying a player you will be pissed if we draft, or you just think is a terrible choice. It could be whatever reason you want it to be.
Well, I'll say Savion Williams, but if I want to get pissed, I'll just go back to last year's draft and watch that again.
Hell yeah, I remember that shit. I remember Dano flipping out when Garendo was picked, bro. Just
49ers, yeah. I think this year's draft we're all going to be happier with, even though we have no idea what this new crew is going to do. So that just makes it a little more exciting. I love it.
Just go in. I was just going to say, go into it open-minded. Like everybody is so dead set on specific guy at 7, but like, just be open-minded. If it's a guy that's going to help this team be happy, just give yourself that. Just be happy.
What happens? We've all been listening to mock drafts for how many months now?
I'm sick of them, bro.
And then if it's something different, we all kind of go, "Oh shit, they fucked up." And I guarantee the teams and their scouting departments know a hell of a lot more than all these other mock drafts we're seeing, us included. Doesn't mean they'll work out, but they're paid professionals.
Yeah, they really fucked up that Will McDonald pick, didn't they?
That's who I thought of too when he said that.
There's still people saying they did because he can't play the run. So, let's see what happens.
Well, the other thing is, if we take a guy at 50 that every big board you saw, he was at 90, that doesn't mean it's a bad pick. That means that a player at 90 might be our 50 because of our scheme, what we prioritize. Like these big boards are all made with an eye of all teams, all situations. Our situation is specific, and that could make a guy drastically more valuable or less valuable, you know?
Listen to like who Johnny just had, Dylan, on there. He has some different thoughts on receivers. I didn't get to see the whole show, but I tuned in just in time. I don't know if Johnny saw my comment. I said he sounds like Chris Sims, because Chris Sims has the Iowa State receivers flopped and he has the Texas receivers flopped. So, you know,
I love Dylan, man. I love Dylan's takes, because Dylan takes are very different, right? Because he's gonna give you the players that not many individuals are talking about. And when he was on the show, we kind of broke it down by position of need, essentially. And he was just throwing and spitballing names out there. And I was like, and given a reason why, too, because he was breaking down the vertical piece of it, the speed. And I straight up was like this, bro, I'm an idiot. Explain that to me on how does that matter and all that. And he broke it down and said, well, it's because of this, because of that, because of this, and because of that. And I was like, not really having somebody really kind of like break it down for me. You know what I mean? But yo, Dano, I wanted to ask you this because you kind of hit it a little bit. At 7, if the Jets were to pick the linebacker from Georgia, Jalen Walker, what is your guys' take in regards to that? Because of the unknown of Quincy. That's just putting that out there, but your guys' thoughts in regards to that.
Definitely open it up if anybody wants to chime in. He's valuable. He's up there, man. I guess in order for us to take him ahead of some of these other guys, we have to have him way higher on our big board, and I would question that. I would. I don't know if I could be happy right away if we did that. What about you guys?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't hear the question. What was it, Johnny? You want to hit me again?
So at 7, we get Jalen Walker from Georgia. We don't know what's the situation with Quincy. Just throwing that out there. It's just a random situation, but that's who we go for, because we don't know the board with the Jets right now. We really don't. Like, I don't. I would at least say.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think the Quincy thing matters. I think if they think Jalen Walker is a really good prospect, and I do think he's a solid prospect, and they take him, I got no qualms about it. He can play, and that's something our defense. I mean, we never really did with Saleh. I don't want to say we lack the players to do it, but like we just didn't do it a whole lot with Saleh. But like, you can have a hybrid, like an edge that plays outside linebacker and he can play on the edge on the defensive line. Jalen Walker could be that, but also it depends how you feel about our other guys. Like, do you think that Will McDonald could do that? Do you think that Jermaine Johnson can do that? Actually, I know Jermaine Johnson can do that. Depends whether you just want to have a lot of versatility with your edges, man. If you want to keep dropping, if you want to have 3 edges on the field at the same time, if you're planning on blitz packages and stuff like that, it might make sense, dude. I'm not totally against it. If they draft Jalen Walker, I'm gonna be like, all right, well, we got a good player. That's how I'm gonna look at it. You know,
Hell yeah.
I just want good players. So I trust that Aaron Glenn will find out what to do with them. So I got no qualms with it.
I guess the main thing, and Scott, you can still chime in. I'm not trying to cut you off, but like, we got a defensive-minded head coach. The most experienced coach we brought in was Wilkes. They already have 2 blue chippers in Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner, and several other good guys. And I'm not saying our defense doesn't need pieces. It does. But, like, can we get an offensive blue chipper? Like, come on, man. I would be annoyed. Like, we hired you. You turn wine from water, and then we'll give Angstrand. Angstrand needs the help more, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, Dane, to take this one step further, then Genty's sitting there.
Oof. Oof.
I'm not. I mean, unless the first 6 picks go way different than any of us are expecting, I'd be disappointed with either one of those guys, even though they're both good players, right? And that's the ultimate goal, to put good players on a team. But there's a world where that could happen.
And you guys feel free to chime in. That is a pressure packed question. I'll say that. If it's
I just opened the door for you, Dane, to take it even further.
I know. I mean, I would need that trade while I'm on the clock at 7. If before I take a running back, I need to have a phone call to Denver and to see what they're willing to do for Brees before I could do that. I would rather, like, this class of running backs is so good. I think we can find an improvement of Brees on day 1 or 2. That's how I feel about Brees, and like I'll feel better about Brees when I see him hit a home run again. But I feel like he didn't last year at all. He got caught from behind or he ridden out of bounds, which is ridiculous. This offense needs juice, man.
The thing about Brees drove me crazy last season was just him running into his blockers. Like he just lost. He could not find the hole, dude. He was like me at 12 years old, just could not find it, and it was horrible. So I don't know. He was not like that his first couple years. So I don't know if he got the yips. Maybe he was dealing with. Never mind. I'm not going to do any more puns regarding that. I don't want to get Johnny too excited. Yeah, if you trade Brees away, then it opens up Genty on the table. Of course, Genty is an excellent prospect. I don't know. I know our guy Christopher Byers. I appreciate you always killing in the chat, by the way, buddy. He was saying, he's a generational blue chip talent, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. I don't know if I'm necessarily there. I think he's a really good talent. I don't know if I'd put him on like a Saquon Barkley level, though.
That's so awesome.
What the hell's going on there, Shane?
He found his dancer, bro. He's found his doppelganger.
I thought he was flopping Willie around there for a second.
Red Rocket.
The Genty convo, man. So Dano knows how I feel about Brees. I love Brees Hall, but same thing like what Murph just said. There was issues, and I was like, give the ball to Braylon Allen. Give the ball to Braylon Allen. He's gonna get you those 2 yards to get that first down. Why are you not doing that? Why? This draft class is loaded with running backs. I've been somebody that's talked about Scattenbo. I love Scattenbo, man, out of Arizona State. That's a guy that you could get in your 4th round that could potentially come in and take that position. I think Braylon Allen would be the starter for me, right? If we're going to be very ground and pound, as they continue to keep saying, I think he has the potential to be that if he's used correctly. I would not want Genty at 7. I would not want a running back at 7. It's the same way I feel about a tight end. I can't, I'd rather give me Membu at that point. Like, make that line solid for years and years and years to come, man. I forgot what show it was on, but they were showing, I think Bolginger, whatever his name is. Bollinger. And he was talking about the last time we had a solid line that the picture was so gritty that it was looking like crap on the actual show itself. And that's what Faneca and all of them that were there. You know, I missed that. We need it, and it made Philly successful over there. So,
Well, the Jets
We-
are close. Jets are close to having that. If things fall right, they have that.
We have a fifth voice, maybe that can chime in on this subject, guys. Hold on one second while I bring them out, and then I want to give you guys the number of touches each running back of ours got last year, and ask how you would divvy them up in the future. But before I do that, welcome this guy, no stranger to the danger, Nick T. What's up, brother?
What's up, fellas?
What's up, Nick?
WrestleMania, baby.
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
Johnny.
Can't
What's up,
wait.
man?
My best friend right now is in Vegas right now. He just got me the Vegas John Cena with the card on it. You can't see me on the back, and the last champion, dude. I'm so hyped.
Nice. Yeah, I've been getting sent some press releases from WWE lately, so we got some, hopefully, fingers crossed, some good stuff going for the channel on WWE. Some like pre-sales and stuff going for MetLife Stadium this year. So we got some awesome stuff going on the channel. But yeah, I'm pumped, dude. This is Christmas for wrestling fan season. This is literally my favorite time of year in general. I get WrestleMania and I get the NFL draft all in like a 10-day period. It's fucking phenomenal.
Let me ask you this, Nick. Do you have anything to chime in either on the Brees Hall topic, or, I mean, our main topic of the night was for each caller to submit their final predictions for what the Jets do with their first and second pick, maybe third if you got a bonus selection. Either one of those you want to sound off on?
I think see this is why I love Johnny. Johnny and I, Johnny, we were kindred spirits. Listen, I think Membu is the right pick. If it's a 7, I hope they could trade down to like 12, 13, because I did a mock. I think it was on gosh, I forget whose channel, but I did a mock, and at 13 or 14 with Dallas or whoever trading up, we still got, like a 3rd round pick and Membu at 13. And I think that's probably where he probably should go. So it might be a slight stretch to get him at 7, but to me, that's the right move. The way this identity of this team, and regardless of the identity of this team this year, you move forward. If you're drafting, let's just say the Jets bottom out of the worst team in football, 2 and how many games is there now? 17. So 2 and 15. So 2 and 15, and they're at the position to potentially take Arch Manning, right? Like Aaron views him as the next generational prospect. Okay. If you make this pick this year, 4/5 of your offensive line at the very minimum is set. That's if you don't renew AVT, right? So, or Simpson. So to me, setting the offensive line, look at someone like Dak Prescott. Not a very good quarterback. A lot of people think he's above average at best, but the last 5+ years, he's kept that team competitive because they built the offensive line to keep him sustainable in that period of time. And he had Zeke Elliott for the first 3 or 4 years, right? Like he benefited off that. And that's what matters to me the most. You set the foundation. And in the first round, if you get Membu, I'm set. Now, round 2 is interesting to me because I think it's based off of who falls. If you tell me Jackson Dart's there, I'm taking Jackson Dart all day. But I don't think he's there.
Final answer. It could be, hey, it could be at pick 42. We could trade up. You just got to take a stab in the dark.
I had the dart.
No, because to me, he's at least the 3rd best quarterback in this class, probably the number 2 best quarterback. I think Cam Ward's number 1, and I think he's probably number 2. And if he falls to the second round, where you can have the opportunity to just let him sit for at least 10 games, because figure it this way, the way that the quarterback room is constructed, you now have Fields, you've devoted $30 million to him, at least. That's probably a 1-year deal, realistically, right? So, like, most franchise quarterbacks get a 1-year franchise deal at $30 million. So it really doesn't matter. Don't look at it as a 2-year deal. It's a 1-year deal regardless. So if I give him 8 games to see if this team's competitive enough to compete for a playoff spot, that's fine. If the team's 2-6, or let's say competitive enough that not 2-6, but let's just say close enough to 500 where they're 1 or 2 games within 500, you can go to Tyrod where you see, hey, listen, it's because Fields is not moving the ball, the offense is terrible, whatever. You need some more of a game manager, just like Pittsburgh just did last year, right? You can do that. Now you do that for 2 or 3 games, and you find yourself either in or out of the playoff hunt. At that point in time, it gives enough games where Jackson Dart has learned, or whoever the quarterback is, whoever you like, has learned the system over the course of 3 quarters of the year. So, to me, look at Chad Pennington, the most successful quarterback that we've ever developed in the last 30 years. 30 years. I'm 37. The most developed quarterback, and don't give me this bullshit about Mark Sanchez, because Mark Sanchez was not better than Chad Pennington. So the most developed quarterback in NFL franchise history for the Jets of the last 30 years was Chad Pennington. And what did he do? He sat for 2 years. Now, I'm not saying to do that, but at least in today's NFL, give at least a quarter to half the year to sit and learn. Someone like Jackson Dart, I think, can benefit from that. And then you give him 4 to 6 games at the end of the year. That's the right prognosis and process to set this team up for success, in my opinion.
So who's your second round pick? Dart?
If Dart's there, I would take Dart. I wouldn't take any quarterback. I think Dart's a first round, like a late first round quarterback who would fall to the second round. But to me, I'm taking, if the second round, if he's not there, I'm probably taking a pass, like a run stuffer, like a defensive tackle, because to me, at that position, top 10 second round, you might get the top 3 defensive tackle. So that's more than likely what I would take if the top quarterback prospect that I like is not there.
Do you have a specific guy in mind, though, or just any?
Not really. Honestly, I haven't done really much research on this draft. I've looked at the top guys. Like, obviously, we were looking for quarterback. I looked at the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks. I like the kid from Syracuse, McCord. Is that his name, McCord? I like him. He's more of a prototypical passer to me, like system quarterback. But I like him a lot. He'll probably fall to the 3rd or 4th round. I think I see why a lot of people like him. To me, I think it's just offensive or defensive line. I think Glenn's an old school guy. That's what makes sense. And you saw it in Detroit. They drafted Penei Sewell. They drafted their line. They built their line. They moved it off of that line. And if this team is successful or not with Justin Fields, it doesn't really matter. If you build the right line, you can get a quarterback next year or the year after and still have the foundation for success because you still run the ball with whoever it is. And that's the same point with whoever put in the chat, Ashton Ginty. Like, yeah, if you think he's a generational talent, that's all well and good. But how many people can you miss from behind the line?
Facts. What I will say is if Fields is only a 1-year deal, man, then that's a dead money next year. And we already have $35 million dead for Rodgers next year, man. If we do that, it better be a rookie starting, or I guess a sophomore or a rookie starting next year, because that's like $50 million dead just for quarterbacks not even on the roster anymore. But it sounds like if you do your plan, Dart could be that guy and it should offset all that dead money.
Well, it's not necessarily just like Dart, like whoever. I think it's just the plan in general. It's like just sit and wait, learn the system, right? Like if this quarterback class is not as elite as everyone thinks, like ready to start, ready to go, then wait a month to 2 months. It's okay to do that. And if you have the right bridge, right? Like if you have the right pattern to it where there's a backup quarterback that's still competent, like not the Boyles of the world that are just a L regardless, then yeah. And this year, and more often than like any year I can remember, I remember the Jets having like a solid, competent backup quarterback that at least has started games, like. And like Tyrod, say what you will, he's not like a top 30 starting 32 starting quarterback at any stretch. He's probably, if you said in the top 64, he's probably like what, like 50 maybe? But like it's still, you need 1 or 2 starts.
And honestly, if a full season's 17 games, to count back Tyrod Taylor's last 17 games, it would take you all the way into 8 years ago. That's how little he has started. He's started 15 games the last 7 years. So, yeah, he's good when he in spot starts, but like he's going to hit that cliff, man. I feel like hey, maybe Jordan Travis is on the roster and we should just
Chill.
you know what? I want to see him healthy before training camp. If he is, he should be able to compete for QB3 in my opinion.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? Exactly. Try to
I
win the
just
job
like
against the 5th rounder we draft.
such a
Good.
brutal injury. Like you just hope like if he can come back and just compete, like good for him.
Daniel, what?
Something that Nick was bringing up, Chad Pennington earlier, right? And just something I wanted to bring up. I've seen a few people make this comp, and it really drives me nuts. A lot of people are comping Shedeur Sanders to Chad Pennington, like they're saying that their play is similar and stuff like that, and I hate that. I really don't like that. I get what they're saying, but I don't like that.
See, the problem with Shedeur, like we've had 3 guests in the last 2 months, Daniel, and they've all said the same thing about Shedeur. He holds on to the ball too long. The question is, was that because of his O-line or because of, because of other stuff? I don't know, man. It's tough because Shedeur could go 3rd overall or he could go 35th. And Dart could go 9th or he could go 55th. It's going to be interesting.
Question. What if Shedeur, like to me, Shedeur is very similar to Tyrod. Like I don't know why I see very similar, like his height and stature. Like he seems like because he doesn't explode off the screen. Let's say what are the Jets, like 37, 39, something like that. What if in the 2nd round Shedeur is there? Like, do you take him?
Repeat that again.
So, like, in the 2nd round, wherever the Jets pick, like 40, 42, like, Shedeur is there. Somehow he drops the 2nd round, just like Geno did, right? Like, do you take Shedeur in the 2nd round? 42.
I would say, well, Dano, do you mind me saying this first?
Yeah, you and Scott haven't talked in a while. Please go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I would still say no. That's how I don't want that circus to come over here. I'm sorry. I know everybody's like, Sanders is not his pops and all that. Bro, that's going to put all the lights on even more onto this team if Sanders comes over here. Is he accurate? I mean, yeah, I guess, right? In Colorado State. But nah, bro. I would want a defensive lineman at 42nd. that's my take. That's what I want. Build the trenches. Continue to keep building trenches.
Johnny, you said you're okay not taking a quarterback at all, right?
At all. Yeah, I'm
My
good with
my
that.
question is, it sounds like you want to draft one next year, and you want the next one we draft also to sit for a year or two. Who's going to be our quarterback the next couple of years for you?
I'm hoping that it's Fields. I hope that Fields has that Sam Darnold, that Geno Smith that could have happened with us, right? Like, why not? We're writing dude off already, and he hasn't even put on the green and white and let my man rock. I think I think he has a chip on his shoulder. Nobody talks about the 5 touchdowns he had running the ball when he was over there in Pittsburgh for those games that he played over there. It's never talked about whatsoever. Like, would you guys be upset if you have him throwing 17 touchdowns and running for 11 touchdowns? It's essentially the same shit that you had with Aaron Rodgers, right? But he just did it in a different manner. If he fucking wins games for us, I'm all for it. I know it's a big what if, because has Tanner ever really coached up a quarterback? Does his regime ever done that? Have the Jets ever done that? It's been since Chad Pennington, like Nick T was just saying. I don't know, man. Like, I believe in Justin Fields, man. I think he was given a crap line over there in Chicago. That was never talked in regards about, right? I mean, he had what, a Cole Kmet or whatever it was, and a couple of other guys. That was about it. But he had a shit line. I think it was ranked like almost dead last that year that he ran for like 1,100 yards. And then he goes to Pittsburgh, and you see that whole situation over there. I got friends, and you guys probably, maybe Murph and everything up there, but I got friends that are giant Steeler fans, and they were talking about there was issues among the ownership in regards to Fields, and it was never being talked about or anything because the ownership wanted Russell. They wanted Russell to go ahead and do that. So I really think that Tomlin's seat is hot this year, man. So that's just my take, man. So, but if we go quarterback, this year, if there's a quarterback out there, and I've been saying it, the 2 quarterbacks for me are Will Howard and it's Riley Leonard. Like, those are the 2 ones for myself that I would be like, all right, give him a chance over Jackson Dart. I can't stand Jackson Dart, Nick T. I'm sorry, bro, but I can't, man.
The big fella is weeping somewhere. He's weeping.
Johnny,
So
he's
just-
letting that
just looking at
optimism flow. He's like, I think Fields can do it, man. You're already getting to preseason mode, Johnny. You're like, shit, 14-3, baby. Fields gonna do that shit. MVP.
I'm Fields up, baby, right now.
Fucking fielding up.
Damn, Skip.
Johnny, let me ask you, who do you like better though? Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson?
Oh, okay. I'm a big Lamar Jackson fan. I've always have been. I've always thought Lamar Jackson is somebody that doesn't give the benefit of the doubt in regards to that because of coming out of Louisville compared to Burrow, where he came from LSU and everything. I think Burrow has had more, and I think Lamar has done a lot with less, right? And Lamar doesn't get. They're both great quarterbacks, so I'm gonna say that. But gun to my head, damn, Dale, I can't believe I'm about to say this because this is nuts to me that I'm saying this, but I probably would pick Lamar over Joe Burrow if I'm being honest with you.
So let me ask you a follow-up question. If you use a fantasy draft on a position, on a player, not a quarterback, who would it be?
I'm old school, bro. So I love running backs. Like, was my shit. And I would say running back.
Okay. So, given your two answers,
Mm-hmm.
if I told you that you get more points out of a passing running back, would you take it? As a wide receiver at number 1, Jamar Chase versus Christian McCaffrey, let's just say. Would you take Christian McCaffrey in fantasy?
Over who?
Over Jamar Chase.
But you just said that a passing reception touchdown would give me more points.
Yeah.
I mean, McCaffrey could give you both.
Yeah.
He didn't.
So he could. But does he give you more than Jamar Chase?
I think so.
The answer is no. So in a passing league, that the question that I'm getting at is it's a passing league. So Joe Burrow had more touchdowns than Lamar Jackson. The NFL, right? Regardless of how you scheme it, it's more likely. Can we all agree this? Now, I'll pull this out to the 3 people here. What's more likely to happen? A 60-yard rushing touchdown or a 60-yard passing touchdown?
60-yard passing touchdown, of course.
Exactly. You've made my point for me.
But
it's a passing league.
Who won Super Bowl last year?
Yeah, a team that had 2 stud wide receivers. A.J. Brown is a top 10 or top 15 wide receiver. Jalen Hurts is considered a top 10 quarterback, passing quarterback as well as running. He's a dual threat, but yes. So, like, you can make the point, yes, Lamar Jackson to Joe Burrow, which is a comparable comparison, right? Joe Burrow had more touchdowns, thus produced more points. Thus, in the world that we're looking at, you produce more points, you win more games. The NFL is a passing league. I would want a quarterback who's going to pass for more touchdowns than a quarterback who's going to run for more. And that's kind of the point, is eventually you need to get to that point. The identity of this team is going to be to run the football this year, which is perfectly fine. But that's the scheme of this game plan. So, like, to your point with Justin Fields, yes, he can be very good. But unless he matures to the point where he's at least a competent passer, where he can throw for 3,000 yards, he's not going to be effective enough to win enough games to be an elite quarterback to win us a Super Bowl or whatever we need. And maybe you want a bridge quarterback, but, like, to me, Jackson Dart is the type of quarterback that can be a 3,500 yard, potentially, like, the ceiling there of him throwing 35, 40 touchdowns is it's much more of a likelihood than it is of Justin Fields getting to that.
We're over like a Will Howard.
I haven't watched much about Will Howard. So, like, to be really honest, like, I haven't, like, see, like, is he a dual threat? Like, there's a lot of different like.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah.
I just want to point out something. You said that Joe Burrow had more touchdowns than Lamar Jackson last year. And unless you're specifically talking passing, that's not necessarily true. They were tied for 45 if you consider rushing and passing.
Right. And all right. So
Bam! Mic drop. I'm just kidding.
No. But that further proves my point. Like, it's a passing league, so you could still get to that same total much easier, right? He's a guy who probably rushed for a quarter of the yardage that Lamar Jackson did. And look at where Lamar Jackson got his team. And if you remember back the last 2 weeks of the season, everyone was worried about, we don't want the Bengals to get in the playoffs because they're a very dangerous team. And those 2 weapons with Joe Burrow. That's the way the league is. It's a passing league. The league has changed so much in the last, especially in the last 10 years, but like the last 20 years, to becoming, look at all the PI calls, everything else. It's a passing-based league. So if you don't have the wide receivers that can generate those calls, you don't have the quarterback that can create those roughing the passer calls, those phantom. We saw it last year with Rodgers. They were fucking garbage. They were garbage calls we got. And we're like, oh shit, like, yeah, finally we got one. But it's the same bullshit. It's a passing league. All right, you go back to, you're going to create the flashy play. There was even, like, as much as we hate to say it, like some of the catches, like even like Garrett Wilson made those catches, they're borderline catches that may or may not get approved, right? Like, but because they're highlight reel catches, maybe a little bit edge towards, yeah, like it's a touchdown, right? Like that's how they're, I can't tell you how many times they told the officials, let the play, right? Like turnovers, let it play out so it goes to the end zone. We can always review it back. Same thing. That's the exact example that I'm talking about. It's an offensive league. We'll fix it later. Well, if it looks good now, okay, great. And if it's borderline, hey, you got the you caught the ball to your helmet, looks good enough, didn't touch the ground. Touchdown, looked great.
Hey, while we have a break in the action, I think we got some fresh blood, Daniel, to mix into the danger zone. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get some new blood in here. Maybe wants to weigh in on this debate. Maybe wants to give us our first, second, third round Jets predictions. Let's see. This guy, I'm surprised we corralled him because he is everywhere. What's that movie? Everywhere All at Once. That's this guy. Without further ado, the one, the only, Connor Long.
What up, Connor?
Guys, appreciate you having me, Dana. Thanks for the intro, and yeah, happy to be here. Talk some Jets draft.
Brother, I don't know if you heard the recent debate, but the overarching theme is we want you to put pen to paper, final answer. Who are the Jets taking in well, it doesn't matter when. Who are they taking with their first, second, and third picks? And hey, if we slide and it's in a different spot, oh well. You got to kind of, blur that line and just say who are the first three guys we grab.
So to clarify, it's who I think they will take, not who I want them to take. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
Armand Membu at 7, Tyleek Williams at 42, and I'm trying to think of this. I'll say Trey Harris at 73.
2 out of 3.
Yeah,
2 out of 3,
yeah.
Connor, buddy. We had a different second round guy. I went Derek Harmon, but he may not even be available.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be an end of the first round guy. I was talking about it the other day. They could, if they really like Harmon, Michael Williams, the edge guy out of Georgia, or Darius Alexander, all three guys they had in for top 30 visits. I was talking about it the other day. They could potentially, let's say those guys are falling, they're there at 38, 39. Don't rule out a trade up from 42 a couple spots. Maybe you give up some capital. Or if they really like one of those guys, I wouldn't rule it out. I like Tyleek so much more as a player for a scheme fit with the Jets. I don't want another 3-tech playing next to Quinnen Williams, especially Alexander. Like Alexander as a player. Thing is, he's a 3-tech and he's 25 years old. No, thank you. Give me a fresh young 1-tech in Tyleek Williams, 330 pounds. Play him in, plug and play right next to Quinnen Williams on the line right away.
We need a 1-tech so sorely, man, and one that actually can handle their own shit. Another 3-tech does nothing for us. If we take Graham, I'm just going to be mad because, I mean, every mock you see, you can get an IDL that can start on day one from like pick 40 to like 200. It's insane. Why would you take Graham at 7 when you don't need to? I don't know, man.
It's a waste of a pick.
It is. It really is. And I like what you said about trading off of 42. I think it's more likely we trade from that spot than we do from 7. I think we trade from one of them, though.
Yeah, I really just want to trade. My dream is if you can get back to 24 with the Steelers and you get a 3 this year and a 1 next year. Because the way I was writing about this the other day, the way I think about it, if you can get an extra 1, you either get 2 blue chip talents next year to build around Fields if the Fields experiment works out. But let's say it all goes up in flames. and you win 7-8 games with Justin Fields, which, I mean, 7-8 games compared to what we've seen over the past few years would be solid football when you take a flyer on a bridge quarterback. But let's say you still want to get your franchise guy in next year's class, but you're picking in the 10 to 12 range. Perfect. You have your ammunition to trade up into the top 3, top 5. I think the biggest thing for this team is trying to build get extra draft capital.
Connor,
Yeah.
who do you got the Steelers trading up for, Dart?
I don't think they're going to trade up. So that's why it's my dream. I think what's going to happen is Dart's going to go at 9 to New Orleans, and I think Milroe's going to go at 24 to Pittsburgh.
That's crazy.
I gotta ask. So I just in regard to like, I totally agree with you. Like, I think we need capital next year if we can swing it. Like, if we can get a little bit this year, that's great too. But I think next year is super important, especially because you're not really looking at a good quarterback class this year. Next year, they say it's going to be a great quarterback class. We don't know how the Fields experiment's going to work out. If it does work out, great. That's fine. Like you said, boom, 2 blue chippers next year. That's great. But if it doesn't, then you're prepared to be able to move up if you need to be. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing I wanted to ask you, though. How do you feel about throwing a quarterback directly into the mix? Because if you take in a guy next year, we've already got a year under our belts with our coaching staff and stuff. How tolerant is Woody going to be? Is he going to give him 3-4 years? You know what I mean? So are you willing to wait till next year, draft a quarterback, and then have them sit for a year or two? Or do you think that he probably has to jump right into the mix at that point because time's running out for the coaching staff?
What I think is going to happen, Murph, is I think really this year is just going to be an evaluation year for Woody Johnson when it comes to looking at what this team has, an unproven flyer, a guy it's just a dart throw in Justin Fields. I think we should be treating Justin Fields like a rookie, if you really think about it, in the sense that he's never really gotten a fair opportunity. He's here. It's time for him to reset. They're going to try to tailor-make the offense around him. I think whether they draft a quarterback this year or next year, they're going to be tied to that guy no matter what. So that's what it's kind of a tough answer, but that's what I'd say. They're going to be tied to a franchise quarterback, whether they draft him this year or next year. So what I think is gonna happen and what they should do is I just think they should wait till next year. I think they have to give Fields the chance to prove he's worth something. I think if they really want to get a quarterback in the building and see what they have, take a day 2, take a day 3 dart throw. So let's say you draft someone between rounds. I think second round, if you draft a guy in the second round, maybe that's Jackson Dart if he falls, you have to make something out of him. But if you draft a guy in the 3rd round through 7th round this year, that could kind of be your dart throw, and it still allows you to take a quarterback next year. I think what this team should do is they should wait until next year. And I think Woody, this is interesting. Woody, what I have to say, Murph, regarding your question is Woody's only meddled and gotten worried when he doesn't trust his guys. These 2 guys are people he hired. Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas, you could do the whole excuse of he was away in the UK when that happened. Those weren't his hires. Those were Chris Johnson's hires. These are 2 guys he brought in. He's only meddled when he does not trust the guys he has. He clearly trusts Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji as he hired them. So I don't think he's going to meddle, unlike what we saw. He meddled because he got scared of the high expectations 5 weeks into the season and falling to a 2-3 record. I think that's where a lot of the meddling and getting involved stuff comes from.
I do think he meddled so quickly because it was a matter of him realizing that he should have fired Saleh 6 months prior. And I do agree. I think that Glenn may have the longest leash we've ever seen a newly hired head coach ever. Yeah, I mean, short of Rex, who had immediate success. I think Glenn has a long ass leash. I think Muji, I'm a little hesitant to say that about him, but Glenn, hey, I'm with you, Connor, too. Like, take a day 3 stab at quarterback, because guess what? That guy, it doesn't mean it's a bust if we draft a quarterback next year. We're not throwing away this guy. He can be our QB too.
Mm-hmm. You can see what you have in him.
If you take a long shot this year, then that probably means Jordan Travis' era is over, right?
Oh, I don't want him on the team.
That's fine. I mean, if
the guy broke his ankle, Connor, give him a shot. God.
Give him a shot after his agent was calling out the organization to He was calling a reporter and calling out this team when this guy hasn't participated in one practice in a Jet uniform, someone who's a 5th round draft pick. I think he has to compete for a roster spot. I'm not handing this guy a roster spot on his silver platter. If you take, even if you get a quarterback in undrafted free agency or like one of the late rounds, let's say they don't want to go late day 2, early day 3. Even a guy I really like is Seth Hannigan from Memphis. He's someone you can get in round 7, maybe round 6, or undrafted free agency. If he's outperforming Jordan Travis in training camp, I have no issue moving on from Jordan Travis.
I'm not saying give the guy the spot. I'm just saying give him a shot, man. The guy broke his ankle.
He's got to be healthy. He has to be healthy by camp. Even if he's not healthy by camp, just go. Martinez has shown more. Like
he was supposed to be healthy by camp last year. Remember that was the whole thing. He was supposed to be healthy and ready to go for training camp and the preseason. That's what the doctor, who the Jets followed his protocol and how they wanted to handle the rehab. I'm not.
All I'm saying is just give the guy a shot. Just I agree. Like if he sucks, he sucks. But like if you're not healthy, you're not healthy. But like if you work your way back from like look at his ankle, dude. That as someone who can't use your legs, like his ankle is shot, bro. Like give him the Alex Smith opportunity to play a game in the NFL preseason or whatever. Just take your opportunity. Like as someone who's suffered through life-altering ailments, just give somebody a chip and a chair. That's all I'm saying.
He has to play by preseason this year. We gave him all last year, and I'm with you, Nick, and I'm with you, Connor. Like he has a ticking clock now. Last year we gave him. Now he has to get in there in the preseason. I have to see what this kid's made of, and he has to earn even a practice squad spot.
Yes.
No, I think Trey needs to earn it. I'm just saying, see what he's got before you cut him. Like if he's that unhealthy, like you see his injury in college, like, it's brutal. Like it's brutal.
That's why he's lucky he's able even to walk. And my whole thing is my whole mentality with Jordan Travis, which it's been since they drafted him, go in expecting absolutely nothing. Anything you get out of him is a bonus. I heard once Aaron Rodgers went up in flames 13 weeks into the season and people were all ready to move on from Rodgers that, oh, don't worry, we don't have to draft a quarterback this year. We have Jordan Travis who can come in and play. My whole thing is just don't expect anything out of this guy. View every single snap you get out of him as a complete bonus.
No, that's fair. Again, I'm just saying, just don't cut the guy before he gets a snap. I'm hoping he gets at least the Alex Smith opportunity to make something of the guys, because it's not like he's a running back, right? Like he's a quarterback. Like that's one position. If there's any position in the NFL that you can still adapt, it's quarterback, where you can become a pocket passer despite your age. You can learn to adapt your game.
I tell you guys this much. I remember that Alex Smith game where he came back with the Commanders and whatnot, and then Aaron Donald came from the end and was on top of him, and he's holding it. All I kept thinking was, oh my gosh, I'm about to see the most gruesome injury all over again happen, and it didn't happen, and he stayed in the game and kept playing. So I see what you're saying, Nick T, and same thing with Connor. I don't know, man. That Jordan Travis conversation is a tough one because part of me wants to be like, give him a chance, but then at the same time, we got other issues that need to be talked about as well. So,
but
John, the thing is too, it's about ROI. Like I want to give him a chance to get us back 5th round value, whether he's QB3, whether he's a practice squad arm. I do want to give him that shot, but I'm not last year, a year ago, if you asked me, I was hoping he could replace Tyrod for a QB2 in 2 years' time. That's off the table until he tells me he can be our camp arm. Do that. It's baby steps. But also now you have a ticking clock, to where, yes, this is a new regime. It's going to get to a point where I don't care that we spent a 5th rounder on you. Shit or get off the pot.
It's James Morgan. If you really think about it, just spending a 5th round pick, I think the worst case scenario is James Morgan. And you look like if he makes nothing out of this season, if he doesn't play in the regular season, it's kind of going to be like a Hendon Hooker type thing where he's kind of lost because he's going to be 20, 24, 25 years old, I think it is. Something of, and Christopher, I would love doing that. If the Jets could get Hendon Hooker in exchange for Jordan Travis, I think that would be an absolute steal.
The Lions are not going to do that, but I would love it too.
It's no different than Greg
Fine if
McElroy.
they
Greg
traded him
McElroy
for
is the
bag
same
of
like
Doritos.
late round pick scenario, right? Like what I'm saying is like not saying give him a chance in the regular season, but like preseason, like yeah, you're talking about second, third string quarterback. Like show me you can be healthy. Like that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying like yeah, like week 8 of the preseason of the regular season, like throw Jordan Travis in there over Tyrod
No.
Taylor. No, but like in the sense of we're not looking at in anyone we draft, right? If Jackson Dart gets drafted in the second round, like I would love, he's still QB3. So like Jordan Travis is probably on the outskirts. I'm just saying, give him an opportunity to compete and show what you have. Like maybe Jordan Travis, even in that scenario, Jordan Travis is not making the team, right? So like in that case, just show me that you can be competitive enough that some other team would consider you as a backup quarterback, right? And another option, like. That's what I'm saying when give somebody a chance because the preseason is that opportunity, whether it's Adrian Martinez, Jordan Travis, but like you have Jordan Travis, who's a rookie, untapped potential. Like, yes.
I don't know. I think Hooker has
catastrophic
a higher
injury.
ceiling than Travis, honestly.
I mean, because
I don't-
Hooker's
He's
shown
not
it.
injured. Because he's not
Well,
injured.
Hooker, he looked good last year.
Hooker
like,
was injured though, Nick. Hooker was injured for a long time. That was the whole thing. He was going to win he was going to be a Heisman finalist. He was going to be a top 5 pick in that class. And that's why I compare him to Travis so much. He got injured his final year at Tennessee, similar to Travis, which lingered throughout his first season in the league and really wasn't able to make anything out of his NFL career until year 2. And he still hasn't gotten an opportunity. And the Lions have no faith in the guy. They literally brought in Teddy Bridgewater from coaching high school football to put him in a playoff game over Hooker, who's been at the backup the entire season.
Right, but does that mean he's going to be Hendon Hooker? That's what I'm saying. Like, not everyone, like, who thought Tom Brady was going to be Tom Brady year 2? Like,
Tom
the
Brady
point
didn't
is that-
suffer a broken ankle his final year of college.
Bill Belichick did.
let's be honest, that
Bill
ankle was
Belichick.
shattered.
Dude,
Yeah.
don't give me
And
that
all-
shit. If
No,
Bill
but
Belichick
honestly-
expected him to be that, he would have never drafted him that late in the draft.
No,
That was
but
a
the point is
flyer.
that everyone has different expectations of where they're drafted. Based off where you're drafted, that's the expectation, right? Like, if you thought someone was going to be the next Peyton Manning, you would draft them number 1 overall, right? Yes or no?
Nick, if Jordan Travis doesn't suit up for preseason this year, you understand that he's going to be cut before week 1, right?
No, I agree. I'm just saying, like,
Okay.
in terms, like, we're comparing, like, everything, like, you're saying, like, give him, like, extra time. Like, he has the same amount of time. Like, he hasn't had the same amount of time as a Hooker, like, to develop. Like, you're talking about year 2. Like, give him year 2 to see what he's doing, right?
Well,
Like,
Hooker hasn't
if you
developed.
right, but neither has Jordan Travis because he's in year 2 now, right? So it's the
He's
same
entering year
situation.
2.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is we're all breaking out our crystal ball to talk about a guy who hasn't played yet, to give him the same opportunity, right? And to your point, Connor, right? Hendon Hooker has been in the same situation. And yes, Jordan Travis could very well be Hendon Hooker. And you may be, and probably 90% you're going to be right. But the point is, give him that opportunity to not be Hendon Hooker and to be the next quarterback who develops in that. Like, a lot of people could have thought that Joe Burrow wasn't going to be as good as he was and wouldn't take him top 5 based off of the ACL tear that he had, right? Like, so he had to build himself back up. So it's it's a different level of expectation based off their skill set. But I'm saying giving them that opportunity, right? And
Yeah,
I'm not saying in the regular
long-
season,
how
but
long is-
preseason, he should get that opportunity.
Nick, how long is that leash though? If Jordan Travis is not ready, that's what these guys are trying to say. If Jordan Travis is not ready for preseason physically, are you still willing to keep him around just so you can give him a shot? Or are you just going to say, all right, I'm done with this and move on?
Well, that would be a question on a couple things. So, well, really one thing, maybe not a couple. What is the IR?
Is it though? I feel like it's just a simple.
No,
all right,
no, because
go on.
it is because let me explain to you. What's the most valuable position in the NFL?
Running back.
QB.
Yeah, come on, Johnny. So if I can stockpile someone for a year on IR, I don't know what the IR rule is for him. So based off of whatever it is, if you have a year-ending injury, you could be put on IR, in my understanding of that.
If he gets injured, you move on. If he gets injured again, you move on.
I'm saying
this guy's lucky he's even able to walk, Nick.
Connor, everyone for years used to crap on Bill Belichick for his maneuvering of the IR system, right? Like
I see what you're saying.
And,
you're saying he's not really unhealthy to play. You're saying just stash him as a QB in the incubator.
Like, yeah, I'm saying it's a position.
What's the point? Then at that point, though, you'd already been through 2 years. The guy's going to be 25 years old. The guy had already been not taking a snap at the NFL level 2 years into his career.
People are drafting quarterbacks out of college that are older than 25.
Understood, but they're coming into the league with a fresh slate and they have experience at the college level.
Yes, it does. It's a fresh slate for anyone, whether you're new on an injury or not.
No, because you want to know why the players who were 24, 25 were coming out had played football the final 2 years. You're talking about Jordan Travis, stashing him on IR and potentially trying to bring him in for a third season after he hadn't taken a snap live in a game for 2 seasons. That's the main concern. The players who were 24, 25 years old in college, they've been playing football the past 2 years straight, and it had to do with the COVID year, the eligibility. So they were playing the past 2 seasons. One of my favorite quarterbacks in this year's draft is 24 years old. That's Will Howard. That's because he had time to develop at the college level. That's because he's able to make throws in and outside the pocket. The most accurate quarterback in the entire class can run. They're at least developing in college. Jordan Travis gets nothing out of just sitting on the IR. He's only getting worse as time goes on.
Here's the problem. How many snaps have everyone that we're talking about, Kyle McCord, Jackson Dart, all played at the NFL level?
0. How many has Jordan Travis played?
Exactly. That's my point, Connor. My point.
They're not the same age, though.
It doesn't matter.
John Cena will finish the story.
Oh, settle down, Johnny. We're not talking wrestling here. We'll talk wrestling Sunday at 5 if you want to talk wrestling. Connor, the point is that they played the same amount of snaps regardless of age in the NFL. So they're starting with a clean slate.
Their ankles weren't shattered though.
Regardless, it's a clean slate. I'm telling you.
No, it's not.
They're starting at
not when you're coming off an injury where your ankle was shattered.
They're starting both of them. No. When they start game 1, if regardless of if it's oh my God, I'm blanking on his name now. You're getting me very worked up. But regardless, whoever it is, I know, you're working me. But the point is, everyone, like Connor, if it's you and me playing in the NFL, we're starting at 0, right? So preseason.
Correct, but if I'm okay, so let me say this though, Nick. If I'm Jordan Travis and you're Kyle McCord and my ankle is shattered and I am 2 years older, wouldn't you say that you, Kyle McCord, would have the advantage over I would?
Because if you're both the same age?
No. What I'm saying is, so yes, we're both the same age, but I'm Jordan Travis, you're Kyle McCord. Who would you rather start as a snap for your football team? Someone who has been unhealthy, had their ankle shattered, and hasn't played football 2 years ago, or someone who is fresh out of college and just received the Heisman vote this past season?
I get your concerns with health, but I'm saying that the point is that you're starting fresh. So if we're evaluating
not health wise though.
No. We're talking about a 53-man roster and starting from scratch. You and me, Connor, we're quarterbacks for the New York Jets. We're starting. You're age 21. I'm age 26. If I perform better than you, who is that kid, that scatback guy that we brought up for that one game 3 years ago? Who No, oh my God. The kid, he had like the shaved head. He was like a college football guy. Oh my God.
Streveler.
Yeah.
CFL. He's
right?
CFL guy. Yeah.
Yeah. How did Streveler get on the team? Because he had a great preseason. So if I outperform you in the preseason, who should be on the better? If Adrian Martinez better, a better quarterback last year than what we saw? Was he the best quarterback on the roster in preseason?
Compared to Andrew Peasley?
Yes. Compared to Andrew Peasley.
Listen, you're saying if Travis has a good preseason, I don't think there's anyone in this room that's cutting him if he has a good preseason. I think we're all in the same boat. Like, if he has a good preseason, we're all keeping him. Stashing him, IR, doesn't matter. But
I'd rather develop anyone in this year's draft really over Jordan Travis.
But that's the point that I'm
Fair.
trying to like. I
just
get your
think the
point,
health
Connor,
is
'cause they're
like
younger.
I would trade Jordan Travis and one of our 2 6th-round picks this year for Hendon Hooker. High ceiling, experience.
Isn't he like 27 though?
Mm-hmm. But it goes back to Nick's point of it doesn't matter what age you are. It's a clean. Let me check how old Hendon Hooker is.
He's pretty
So
old.
you're gonna trade. You're gonna trade. So Connor, just clarify. You're trading
27.
a quarterback on our roster and a pick for a guy who's not on our roster who hasn't proven anything.
Correct. Well, what has Jordan Travis proven? So you're trading literally nobody because he has not shown anything. He has not participated in one.
Yeah, but he hasn't shown much more than Hendon Hooker, and you're giving up a pick.
Hendon Hooker's shown he's healthy. Hendon Hooker's shown he's been a part of an elite offensive scheme at the NFL level. Hendon Hooker's flashes at elite athleticism. Jordan Travis hasn't shown any of those things. And
so
I'm
you're
giving
basing
up
off a preseason.
Hooker does have a bigger arm.
Hooker has a way higher ceiling too.
But you're basing it off.
And I own him in Dynasty Badlands, so please, Hendon Hooker, let's go.
You all love hookers, right? So I'm just trying to get Johnny got it. So sorry, Connor. It was inappropriate.
Hey, I think we're split. Like, is there anyone in here that doesn't want to draft a day one quarterback next year?
But what's funny to me is that you guys are all.
Can we answer that question? Let's go back.
Actually, no, I take that back. Like if you go 9-8 with Justin Fields, you still draft it. It depends because people were like, "What if Justin Fields goes 11-6 and wins MVP and you win the Super Bowl? Do you still draft the quarterback in the first round of next year's draft?" Well, obviously not. That's
day one or two.
If you win the Super Bowl, you draft a quarterback in round 1.
We don't even have a guy on this offense that's going to prevent an 8-man box. So I gotta see it to believe it. Right now, we don't have a single guy that can push a safety back. So we're not winning a Super Bowl.
Garrett Wilson gets pushed back by safeties.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like I just don't see it. Like
I think they're winning 7 games.
Like they exactly 500 ish. You got a win and a half on one side, a win and a half on the other. It's like a 7 to 10 range.
Genty. Like I'm in the boat right now where if you can get a fourth pick in the top 85, and that means trading Breece Hall and bringing in Ashton Genty at number 7. I've gotten called delusional for that take so many times. I mean, I don't know how one could view that take delusional in the sense that you bring the Jets. Well, drafting Ashton Genty increases the Jets' chance of winning a Super Bowl higher than if they draft Tyler Warren.
But why don't you make that trade and then take a litany of running backs on day 2? Why do you have to have the one in the top 10? That's where I stop.
I just think he's the best player available. Like, I think you have to take the best player available at 7. Yes. If he's there at 7, you have to take the best player available. I would also be okay on day 2. I want to trade Breece. I really do.
So do I.
This is a guy who struggled so much with vision, ball security, things that everyone's going to say, coaching, you can't coach vision, you can't coach ball security, and you can't coach forcing missed tackles. 3 things that Breece Hall was unable to do. Peace out, Nick. 3 things that Breece Hall was completely unable to do last season. And we all know
the story. John Cena, baby.
We all know vision's been a massive problem for Breece since college. Missed tackles, this is something that just came up. Like last year, he had a few home run plays, but yes, like there are plays that was 4 plays out of the line of scrimmage, he's getting tied up. Boom. Someone clips his shoe, tied up. He's unable to force missed tackles. Last year of his deal, you're going to let him walk for a compensatory 4th or 5th round pick next year.
Listen, I've been preaching
right away.
You're on the right channel. I've been preaching Breece for 6 months, man. Finally, like there's rumors and shit, and now but like trade him by all means. I just think you can take a great player and still get a great running back. Like
if you can get like even Cam Scatterbo. If you can get him in the 3rd round, like you traded 3rd round pick for him, just an absolute unit. What is he? 5'11", 215. Plug him in right away. He's gonna make. I really want to see what they have in Isaiah Davis, though. That's the one wild card on this team.
I like Ollie Gordon. I like him
from Oklahoma State. He's an interesting day. I just want to get a running back, trade Brees, allocate that top 75, top 85 pick somewhere to get the best running back available. See what you. I think Braylon Allen's the most overrated player on this roster, alongside Will McDonald.
Davis had 5.8 yards per carry, 3,000 yards in 2022 and 2023 combined, led all FBS. What I will say is Daniel Jeremiah said the other day that Scatabo, apparently a lot of GMs are down on him. They don't believe his play style and body will hold up at the next level. So we might be able to get him later on.
Yeah.
Slow. The problem with him.
Yeah.
That too.
Because he's so big. He uses his body to power back.
You're gonna do that in the league? You're gonna play like that in the NFL?
I heard some trade rumors the other day about like Braylon Allen for a 4th round pick. I don't think there's any point in doing that. I'm not a big Braylon Allen fan. I just wouldn't trade someone who's 20 years old and has all the upside in the world for you. You're better off keeping him than trying to reallocate a day 3 pick into him. At this point, what I want them to do is, like I said, trade Breece Hall and just give Isaiah Davis an opportunity. This is someone who's showed his versatility, great vision, versatility as a receiver, versatility, as a runner overall. He's the complete back. Another guy, I don't know if you guys have noticed it, who's insanely overrated from last season is Will McDonald. I thought he had a solid season, nothing against him. This is someone who had 10.5 sacks coming just from 3rd down last season. His run work needs immense help. His run defense is one of the worst in the entire National Football League. Thrived on 3rd down, a pure pass rusher, can't complete a tackle. What's up, Murph?
What are we doing? Okay, you know how many edge rushers have made it an absolute living, hundreds of millions of dollars on sacks?
That doesn't mean they're not overrated.
Horrible against the run.
That doesn't mean they're not overrated.
Is Von Miller elite against the run? I bet he's not.
No, but he gets you 14 sacks a year.
Greatest edges of all time. And I'm not putting Will McDonald into the Von Miller category. I'm just saying, like, he is good at what he does, and what he does is rushing the passer. And there is a spot on your team for that. If you are good at that, there is a spot on your team for that. That's why I'm not.
I never said he wasn't. I never said he wasn't a good pass rusher. Well, I simply said he was overrated.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know people that are. I don't think anybody is in here saying that he's the next Max Crosby or anything. I haven't seen anything like that.
Oh no, I've heard people talking about how he's this foregone All-Pro edge for the rest of his career after he compiles one solid season. I don't think that's the case. I really
as good as he. Well, let me just say this, and we were joking because Murph is high on Will McDonald, but like what I will say is, as good as he was as a starting defensive end, I think he would be exceptional as a 3rd guy, like that first guy in passing. But what does that mean? Are you going to draft one? Are you going to draft one in the first 50 picks?
I would love Mike Green. Mike Green is from Marshall, is such a great player. I can't use a 1st round pick on a defensive player. I don't care if you trade back to 30. You can't use a 1st round pick on a defensive player. Princely Umanalium or something, how you say his last name, from Ole Miss. He's a complete edge rusher. Very explosive, very twitchy. Elijah Roberts, another one from SMU, who I really like. Versatility, kind of filled the JFM role. He could play inside, could play outside. The kind of that tweener type role in a 4-3 scheme. They just need to get someone in that edge throughout the draft.
Hey Connor, so you're out of defensive player, like in the first round.
Completely. There's not one defensive player you could sell me on in the 1st round.
So if Abdul Carter, let's just say for some insane reason,
besides Hunter Carter.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
All right.
I'm talking about I just excluded those guys because they're obviously going to be off the board. If Carter's there, I would even say if Carter's sitting there at 5 and somehow gets past New England, I would absolutely hate if you gave up like a 4th this year and a 6th next year and a 7th and 26th. 27, to trade up for him. Like I think Abdul Carter's the next Micah Parsons. That's to the point though where it's like if he's falling, you take all of your positions in need out of the equation. You take the best football player. It's Abdul Carter.
Well, that's when we look in the mirror and we're like, okay, Will McDonald isn't versatile enough. Jermaine's coming off an injury. We could definitely use an Abdul Carter. I mean, come on.
Any team
I'm
can.
I'm with you though, Connor. Like we said it earlier, I think most of us are like, okay, we hired a defensive-minded head coach. At least I am. Add to the offense. Like Glenn has plenty to work with.
I
100%.
get the sentiment, right? But like, if the draft falls a certain way, if the first 6 picks are all offense, are we going to reach for an offensive player?
Yes. Who are you going to take on defense?
Oh my goodness.
Who are you going to take on
Well,
defense?
if the first 6 is, then it's Abdul Carter.
Oh,
Obviously.
I thought you meant like the
I'm just
consensus
saying,
of the
that was
board.
me being
Yeah.
a smartass. I'm just saying though, like, if I mean, oh man, I don't know. Like, if
Yeah,
Ed,
you're
Tyler
right.
Warren, Armand Mimbu are all gone, like, you gonna? Well, who are you? Are you gonna reach?
I don't
for?
even
You're
like
not.
any. Yeah, I don't like the offensive players specifically either.
You're
Yeah.
not going to skip down a
wrong.
tier. Like you're not going to skip down a tier to make it an offensive guy. You're still, but I'm telling you, man, picking at 7 makes it a lot easier because you're going to have guys lumped together and you're going to be able to say what will help our team the best. If we were picking at 20, it might be a little harder to bypass, a
Yes.
certain guy. But at 7, come on, we are going to have an impact guy right there in our laps.
I'm a big Colston Loveland fan. Like, you could sell me on Loveland at 7. I really put them in the same tier as Warren. I think they're pretty much neck and neck. Who knows though? It's the funniest part. We're 5 days away from the draft, and
Can't wait, man.
yeah, for all we know, they could take Will Campbell, which Will Campbell would make me go crazy. You're drafting pretty much a guard at number 7.
AVT part 2. That's all he is to me is AVT 2.0. It's like just
100%.
sign the guy you have and draft someone else. Loveland, dude, great route runner.
Insane body control.
Very natural hands, but like not as physical as Tyler Warren. It would be nice to add some teeth to our offense.
Yeah.
That's what
I think you could do that in one of like 6 round. Jackson Hawes.
Well, we might.
What'd you say?
Oh, I agreed. Jackson Hawes, great blocker. We all know, like Jets fan base is rallying around Jackson Hawes for sure. But like, we need multiple guys, and we need guys that are going to be able to handle like 20% of touches because like Garrett, Brees, like what else?
Exactly.
We're going to need guys that are going to be comfortable with the ball in their hands is what I'm trying to say.
For
Loveland
sure.
Loveland would be great. If we could slide and take Loveland at like 12, 15, 17, but like the Colts are the magic team there. Like they are definitely going tight end, I feel like.
Yeah. I thought they were going to take Bowers last year.
Exactly. They were until they couldn't.
Yeah.
What did Bowers go 12th or something?
I tell you what pick would piss me the hell off, and I'll keep saying it, is if we get Dart at 7.
Oh, I don't even talk about that because if that happens, I would give up on Aaron Glenn and Darren Mushi before they even played their first game.
I think I would be on the same boat with you at that point. Like
I'm pessimistic enough right now.
I'd be pissed.
I don't need them taking Jackson Dart at 7. Like that, Shedeur, I would be really upset at. At least I'd understand though the logic behind it if he falls. Jackson Dart, I would be pissed and I wouldn't understand the logic. That's just kind of wasting a top 10 pick in my eyes.
100% agree.
This is a 4th round talent. This is a 4th round talent when you look at it. And there's just no quarterbacks this year. So there's going to be the names that skyrocket, like Jalen Milroe, 4th round pick. Easy. He might go in the 1st round. He will be at the draft. Quarterbacks.
I would take him in round 3, but I would not take him in round 2. Let me ask you this. What's your first reaction if we take Malachi Starks?
Starks, I wouldn't hate it because I'd understand safety's a position of need. I would probably I wouldn't be happy though. I would kind of come on and I would be a little upset just given the fact that you took a safety at number 7 overall. Second, I don't even think you took the best safety. I think Nick Amanwari from South Carolina is the best safety in this year's draft. So not only do you not select what I view as a pressing position of need, I think it's certainly a position of need, and you can get a guy like Lathan Ransom is someone I like from Ohio State in the 3rd, 4th round. It's just the fact that you use the top 7 pick on a safety and someone I don't even think is the best safety in the entire draft class.
Yep.
Who are you high on as far as receiver then?
Tet
Is there anybody
McMillan.
around? Huh?
Tet McMillan's my number 2 player for the Jets to draft.
Is that it? Is there any other guys that you'd be content with?
In round 1?
Round 1.
No.
Even if they slid back a few picks to 12.
Like, unless they slid back to 24, 24 with Ibuka would be the only other place I would feel comfortable. I don't think the receivers are that great other than Tet. I like Jaden Higgins in round 2, not a round 1 player for me though. Kyle Williams in round 4, maybe. Jalen
no
Royals.
Golden, no Luther
Mhm.
Burden,
No.
none of those guys.
Burden, too many concentration drops, too much of a slot guy. Matthew Golden, just an absolute combine warrior who people simply just draft for his speed. Not high on either one of those guys, personally.
How would you feel? So this is Connor Rogers'
Okay.
mock draft. I want to know, and a lot of these names, honestly, like it seems like whatever Connor Rogers says, you start seeing in every Jet fan's mock draft. So like a lot of these names, I don't even know a lot of prospects, but I know a lot of these guys because Connor's been trumping the horn on them. But hey, I trust the guy too, just like everybody else. So I want to know from each of you guys, what would you feel if this were to play out? Like, what is your reaction on this being our draft class?
Again, I'm a guy that's about building the trenches. The Membu pick is there at 7. I'm happy with that. We went weapon with Higgins. I love the Penn State safeties, man. And he's not there. Never mind. Is he? He's there.
Winston?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he has him as a wide receiver. You see that? Am I tripping?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
They put that there by accident. But it
yeah.
That's a safety. Yeah, that's a safety.
So them, and I mean, then you got your DT right there. Like, I wouldn't be mad at it. I'd be fine with this if this was the case for us.
Yeah, this is.
I do like Jaden Higgins. I love him more in the 3rd than the 2nd. Or like if you could slide back from 42 and still get him, I'd be real happy. I love Jamari Caldwell. I'm an Oregon guy though. If you can get him in the 4th round, I'd be happy. The rest of it's whatever, man. If you can get Membu, Higgins, Winston, and Caldwell, I think you're batting at least a B plus.
I'd lean more towards the B- C range. I'm not a fan of the Membu pick right away in the 1st round. Higgins, I like that pick. Winston, I would much rather take a safety who isn't coming off a complete ACL tear. Jamari Caldwell, I like. Ty Robinson from Nebraska in the 5th round. I'm okay with it. I just don't like going interior back-to-back picks. Isaac Tesla, is that the wide receiver?
Yeah, from Arkansas.
Yeah. All right. Our 2 wide receivers, someone 5th round flyer. Okay. RJ Mickens, I like. And then you wait till round 6 to take a tight end who's just a pure blocking tight end. I think you can get better value like at any point throughout the draft, the way that the positions were kind of sorted here.
Winston is coming off an ACL, but he'd be a 2nd rounder without that.
Yeah.
Membu, you don't like what the value? You don't like the?
No, I
you
don't like
plug him right in, and he's a starting right tackle.
Correct, but you could do that with anyone in rounds 1 through 3 with some of these tackles. You can get Ursery in the 2nd, plug him in right away. Trapillo in the 3rd, plug him in.
Yeah, but there's 10 teams shopping for tackles, all ahead of us every round.
Yeah, I just don't think. I think Membu's a solid player. If you go purely off film, he is a late 1st round, early 2nd round pick. This is someone
I disagree.
Oh, really? He was completely viewed in that range from everyone in the league until he put on his showing at the combine, and that's when he was started to garner the top 5, top 10 buzz. I don't want to take a 2nd tackle in the top 10. Good teams, like good coach, a perfect example.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you downgrade the giraffe class just because that's the 1st pick.
I think you get
you
a
know
weapon
what I'm saying?
I think you get better value with a weapon there because you look at good teams in this league. The Eagles are a perfect example. They took someone in Jordan Mailata in the 7th round who played rugby in college, and their offensive line coach, Jeff Stoutland, who is the best in football, turned him into an all-pro in 4 years. I'm not saying the Jets have Jeff Stoutland and Steve Hyden, but good coaching, a good offensive line coach doesn't need to take every offensive lineman in the 1st round. Good teams are able to find guys in free agency, find guys in the back end of the draft who come in and contribute right away. I'm not a big fan of going tackle first 2 rounds right away, especially when you can get a pass catcher like Ted McMillan play opposite Garrett Wilson. I think he's going to make a higher impact.
Ted, who's also falling to, I mean, I've seen him go 20.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm just saying,
Wow.
different strokes, different folks. If you go wide receiver, what are you doing in round 2 again? You said it earlier, but
Ursery or Connerly, one of the 2 tackles. Yeah. Again,
so
it's not a yeah, pretty much. I think that's the way to go. But anyways, I appreciate you guys having me. I gotta hop out, but super fun chopping up with you guys, and hopefully I can come back next Friday.
Peace.
Not many people I can see go toe to toe with Nick T. So thanks for calling in, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks a good night, Connor.
Dane. Appreciate it. Same to you, Dane, Murph, Johnny. See you later, guys. Peace.
Later,
always a pleasure. Dude, good to hear his thoughts prior to the draft. You know, we've gotten a collection of takes tonight in the Danger Zone, and believe it or not, I will be going back and writing everyone's down and grading you guys the next time I see you. So, I like that he was not afraid to say Connor Rogers was a B-. Good for him, man. He's got some cojones tonight. I like it.
Yo, Dano. So Thursday, what time are you doing the draft spectacular?
You know what? And like I said, Friday will be where we pour. Like, I get it. If no one comes on Thursday, we totally get it. But probably around 6 Eastern, an hour before, we'll be live. We'll be here chopping it up, dude. Is Worldwide going to be live as well?
Nah, man. I'm so Snowball's gonna be at the draft party, and I'll let you know, bro. Like, I'm rocking with you, man.
You got a seat, man. You got a seat,
man. 2 years in a row.
You got a seat.
We're doing something Thursday too.
Murph, I'm not forcing you to. Like I said, all our energy into Friday, but I'll be live every night. So if you can join me, you're welcome, man. But I wasn't gonna force it on you.
Okay. Yeah, I just knew that Friday we're gonna, and I think I gave you a heads up before, Johnny. We were gonna start at 7. That way we catch draft on Friday, and if we're both running alongside each other, if you guys were doing something, that's no big deal. No, guys can pick and choose wherever the hell they want to go, flip back and forth. That's fine, But we did want to at least be live for the draft on Friday. And Dane, I guess, planning on doing every day. I'll try to pop in, but I can't guarantee Thursday. Thursday is my shit day at work, man. So
even if you just call in like real quick after we pick and tell us what you think, I'd be happy. Here's the thing, like, the community will be divided on where they go. Like, I recommend, though, everyone in the chat, like, don't get stuck on one channel. Just pop around, see what the vibe is everywhere. Spit your take in all the chat rooms. But like, you have to be live because there's literally thousands of non-everyday YouTube viewers. Like, literally casuals from all over come to YouTube those days. So like, I have to be live just to let them see me. You know what I mean? But like, again, Friday will be our staple, but Johnny, you said it, man. We started this thing last year during literally my 1-year anniversary is in 2 days, which I might go, maybe I'll go live Sunday just to celebrate it. But like, we're in it now, year 2, man. We gotta at least get together for a couple of the picks. Definitely feel out where this dude. Like, last year did kind of suck, but like, I was never skeptical of Joe Douglas. This year, I'm going into it a little skeptical of Muji. So it's going to be interesting to see. It is.
What's the unknown, right? You don't really know with him. Like, we were so used to saying, shit, JD is gonna make some real good moves at some point, and it was gonna get some guys that we were gonna be like, okay, this is where it's going to happen, and blah blah blah. I mean, dude, but last year too, though, man, there was times, bro, we were like waiting. Like, why does this dude keep trading back? Like, what is going on? And we were just seeing names fall and fall and fall. But
yeah. But I will say, like, after the Mekhi Becton draft, like, he hit some home runs. I feel like they've underachieved. Like, imagine if they hit their ceiling, all of them, even half of them. Like, I'm still
You have to say it right. Super Bowl winner, Mekhi Becton.
Oh God, man, Jesus Christ! Free agent Mekhi Becton, or am I wrong?
Nah, he's with the Chargers now.
Los Angeles Chargers, Mekhi Becton.
Yep. Super Bowl winning San Diego Charger now, Mekhi Becton.
You can never take that away from him either. Super Bowl winning Bryce Huff.
Oh man, that
feels even worse.
I think that's worse, dude.
He wasn't even suited up for the Super Bowl.
Oh man.
But now, for real, like, yo, Dano, man, like, shout you out, bro. Like, you've been grinding hard. You and Murph on the show and stuff like that. I really look forward to your guys' show on Fridays and whatnot. And so
thanks, man. Thanks, because there are streams where it's like nothing to talk about. Not a lot of people in the chat. It's tough. Nobody knows. Like, it seems easy until you do this consistently weekly. Like, bro, it gets to you after a while. But like, I feel like Murph, like, and you tell me, like, after the draft, there might be some Fridays we chill. But I mean, it depends on how much there is to talk about.
I mean, Aaron Glenn might come out of nowhere and be like, "You want to know what the real conversation was?"
You think, like, the beat's going to ask him about it right away. Do you think he's going to be like he was a month ago where he's like, I'm not talking about it? Or do you think he's going to be like, I'm going to defend myself?
No, I think he's going to take the high road. He's like, why am I going to talk about a player that's no longer on this team? You're wasting time on something that does not need to be talked about. Keep it moving, and it's done, and it is what it is. Like, the Aaron Rodgers whole situation, and I hate coming back to it, and because I'm so over the Aaron Rodgers stuff, bro. But here we are right now, right? I honestly do not believe that Aaron Glenn came into that meeting thinking that it was over with Aaron. I think he wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. But when you got somebody saying to you, "Hey, yo, Murph, are you going to work on Monday?" Exactly. It's a yes or no question, bro. Right? Hey, Dano, next Friday, are you gonna do a live stream?
Yes.
Exactly, right? But you get somebody that says, I'm interested. What are we talking about at that point? Like, it's such an open-ended answer, and it's a slap to the face. It's like, okay, you're putting literally you're on the table right now. Aaron Glenn came and said, nah, dog, mine's bigger. You're done. It's over with. My man was hurt. He went on the Pat McAfee show, said for what he said. To me, it showed a lot of balls. I think if I'm a player and I see this, and Aaron Rodgers is saying this stuff that he said about him or whatever, I'm like, damn, dude. Like, my coach does not give a shit about who the person is or whatever. He was a Hall of Fame quarterback for Green Bay, not for the New York Jets. We wanted an average quarterback play. We got it. It did not work out. It fucking sucks. I wish it would have worked out, but it just didn't. We were happy as shit. All of us, dude. I was out here saying 12-5, bro. Like, I think, or more than that. Like, I don't even know at this point anymore. So it's over. It's done with. And Justin Fields, baby. MVP next year. What's up?
Say what you, and I agree with you, man. It's the he was on the fence. It sounded like maybe he should have just said yes. Would that have changed? I don't know, but I mean we'll never know. You're interested. What the fuck's that, man? You're playing or
Yeah.
you're not, man. You came to us. You came to us, and you're not even going to say yes. That's kind of, but that's sus. But
And that's the
here's the
other
thing.
thing.
Whatever you feel about Rodgers, Glenn used that as a chance to assert dominance to not just Rodgers, but to all 53, to free agents, to whatever. We need Stern. We need
100%.
a cojones. Like whether it translates, yeah, that's exactly right, man. I lend to think it may not be 12-5, but like it's not going to be 5-12. And
Agreed.
that's fine with me, man. I can't do 5-12. I can't. That's 12 Sundays ruined. For real. Ruined,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I wake up, dude, I'm on the West Coast. I wake up at 10 a.m. and watch the fucking Jets. And then they get spanked. Sunday ruined.
Agreed.
No more.
100%.
No fucking more, man. At least I get half of them back.
And that's the other thing too, like him putting that whole thing about I flew out here on my own dime. Bro, you had prior engagements that you had going on that weekend that you're not putting. How come you didn't say that? Why did you wait
Yeah.
this
I heard that too.
long to say this stuff?
I heard he was already in Jersey. Like he didn't fly out exclusively for that. He was already here for some other shit. So he kind of spun that to his own.
That's what I
Whatever,
mean.
man.
And
Whatever.
then go. Can you imagine, man? Like it would have been different if he would have been on some like, I'm still on the contract. I'm a Jet. I'm down to do whatever needs to get done for this stuff like that. You know, let's rock and roll, Aaron. Like let's get this to the next point. But it wasn't. It was I'm interested in all that. And then he just flipped the whole narrative and then continued to keep being like, you know, hey, I got this going on. Bro, he said, I value my personal life a lot more now. Like, what? Can you imagine
I mean,
going into this, not having a quarterback into the draft? You and us three would be talking about, I think we need to get a quarterback at 7. And if Sanders is there, we might have to look at that because we have no idea if Aaron Rodgers is going to be like. That's the conversations that we would have to have. And I'll be pissed that I'm put in that position because I don't want Sanders.
See, I think that he thought that was the beginning of a long conversation. So he said, I'm interested. And then he's expecting you to sell him on it. Bro, that was the question. And you just failed and it's over. Like, and that can happen in a job interview. And that's how he should have treated it, like a job interview. And that's fine, dude. It went down like that. Take your lumps, dude. You can go to 3 other teams. Why do you got to shit on us? We're a brand new regime, and you got to air out our laundry and say how Glenn didn't treat you with the respect you deserve. I don't know. Murph, talk to us.
It's like you said, dude. You about the job interview thing. I actually had an experience one time. I applied at a plant as along the Ohio River. And I don't even remember what the hell the plant was. I think it was a chemical plant. I'm not sure, but it was a high demand job, like 1,000 applicants or so, only hiring like 20. And there's like multiple interviews. You have to take testing, pass the testing, all this shit, just to get hired at this place. And it was a good paying job, high dollar job. And I made it down. I was like the guy told me in my interview, he was like down to like the top 100 or whatever, and whatever. And during the interview, I think it's going pretty well. I think I usually interview really well, and I made a blunder. And that blunder was simple. The dude asked me about working overtime, and I said, yeah, I don't mind working overtime or whatever. I was like, but I'm a family man, so I don't want to work my life away or anything. So, it's got to be, moderation or whatever. Just being honest, right? Like, because that is who I feel I am. Like, I don't want to work 80 hours a fucking week. You know what I mean?
Of
I want
course.
to my son while he's young and stuff like that.
Even though you do anyway.
And yeah, I ended up with a job where I'm working a shit ton anyway, but because that's life for you. So needless to say, I never got the call back to get the job or anything, and I know, because I could tell by the dude's demeanor when I answered that question. I know that was the question that fucked me.
The energy.
Else, I knew it. I had to tell him whether I truly believed it or not, whether I actually was willing to or not. I had to tell him, I will work whatever you want me to work, sir. Yeah.
Because 80 other guys are saying that.
Yep.
Even if they don't believe it.
I had to fully commit, and I didn't. And that's what lost me the job. So what you're saying is Aaron just saying, well, I'm interested. That's not fully committing, and they didn't want anything but 100%. And he didn't give them 100%, so they sent him 100% out the door.
I'm just saying, he just added to that already bad narrative that's out there about Aaron Rodgers, that he's this arrogant individual that is just somebody that's about really himself and all that. And when you ask him that question, and if that's what he said, like, first and foremost, I don't even think he should have said anything, to be honest with you. The fact that he went on to a voluntary interview with Pat McAfee and put all of this out months later, I mean, come on, bro. Like, you're being kind of whiny. Like, you're being emotional right now. Like, you didn't get your way. You're not really getting maybe position. You were just out with DK Metcalf, having somebody follow you with videos and then talking about like,
move on.
I didn't know dude was doing this. Come on, bro. You're Aaron Rodgers, dog. Like, I was being Mission Impossible Tom Cruise in a Chevy Malibu because I wanted to go in through the like nah, bro. Like, you're 40 something years old. You're a grown ass man. Just keep it about business and do for what it is and whatnot. You just had a guy that said to you, bro, I got an eagle too. And my ego is going to be a lot bigger than yours. And if you don't like it, kick rocks, because this organization is turning a new page. And this is where we're at. And I applaud that because he said it to his face. You know what I mean? Because the narrative would have been completely different if it would have been a whole, let me call you real quick, or let me do this, or whatever. And then he would have spun it to be like, damn, they could have at least done it to my face or whatever. I just, it sucks because I really wanted the Aaron Rodgers thing to work out. I think we all did. It just didn't happen.
And you got your daddy. Now you know who your daddy is, don't you? Gary, if you want to play on this football team, you answer me when I ask you, who is your daddy? Who's your daddy, Gary? Who's your daddy? You. Uh-huh. And whose team is this? Is this your team? Or is this your daddy's team? Yours. Mm-hmm. And you got your...
Shout out to Denzel Washington. Remember the Titans, baby. Let's go.
Wow.
Hey, compliments of Zoo Kruger on Twitter. That was pretty funny, actually. But hey, like I said, if Rodgers had to be the fatality for us to get that message across, and I don't think he had to be, but fact is, we got that message across. Now everybody knows Glenn is their daddy.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, with a lot of the crap and everything that's out there, like, can you imagine Oh man, I'm thinking about, like, for example, the whole Tyreek Hill situation with Miami. Do you think he's looking at now as the Jets as a potential place to come over now with Aaron Glenn doing what he did over there? Nah, he's gonna be like, yeah, chill. I don't want to get put in my place in front of everybody. It is what it is. It's over with. Like, it's a new page, and
It,
I'm all for it. I'm all in.
if you arrive, that means you're about it, man. If they pick you, that means your character. You're gonna fall in line. Like anyone on the like Isaiah Bond. I'm sorry, we are not drafting that kid. Like we're not
No.
gonna. Why? You're installing a new offense, installing a new defense. You're assessing who we already have. Why would you take a character concern right now? You're not. You're not. You are gonna be. You're gonna be bland. But we gotta put that discipline in, that foundation. We might have to wait for the playmakers until next year. We'll see. But at least we'll have building blocks.
100%. I mean, I'm intrigued to see what's gonna happen with the Corley whole thing, because, like, myself and Snowball heard some stuff that it really wasn't the coaching. It was Corley, and he had very, very,
Immature.
very motivation.
Mm.
Like, he wasn't motivated to play. And when I heard that, and the person that said it to me, I believe him, right? And I was like, wow, if that's for real, that's the trip. That's bugged out to me, because I mean, you guys remember I was talking about him being an offensive player. Like, I was so high on Corley, man, and here we are.
He had exactly 0 truck sticks the entire year. Damn it. But honestly, like, I'm not even looking at him like a second or third round receiver right now. If he can be like a fourth, I'd be happy. And we might be pleasantly surprised, man, in this offense with 0 pass catchers besides Garrett. I don't know. I wanted to go through, like, bro, like, I wanted to tell you guys, like, okay, listen, Braylon didn't even have 100 carries last year. Isaiah Davis had 39. Brees had 209. Like, if you ask me that, like, I think Brees should come way down, like 100 and 150 maybe, and then you pass him the ball more. Run it a lot less. Braylon, I want like 150, and Isaiah Davis like 100. That's what, 250, 350, somewhere in there. Like, that's enough. I think we would get more out of Brees as a receiver, and I would love to see these rookies we drafted in year 2 getting more. But if you pass to Brees more, what does that mean for Corley? Well, we lost Conklin. Lazard can GTFO. Maybe we're okay. Maybe we're okay if it's Garrett and we're passing to Brees and we're passing to Corley, and then we draft a tight end or a wide receiver too. That's 4 guys that can catch the ball, 2 other guys that can run it better than Brees. We might go 500. Am I crazy thinking like that? But you can't give Brees over 200 carries again.
I mean, Dano, how many times you were doing it week by week and saying with the Brees Allen stat, we all saw it. We all kept thinking of it. Like, I was in shock that one play where he ran into the outside and he got caught from the back, Brees, where back in the day, that wouldn't have happened, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a touchdown. Not really being talked about, because, again, we're Jet fans. We got that battered syndrome that we think we have something that's so good in our terms, but in all actuality, we're in a sinking ship. So I don't know, man.
Murph, give us 2 minutes of your time. We're winding down. What do you think of the running back distribution of work? Because last year it was like Brees 60%, Allen 25, and then Davis 15. Would you adjust that?
I mean, I might give a little less to Brees, at least in carries. I would probably maybe I would drop him down to 50, and then go
Carries, yeah. Carries.
yeah like 50% Brees, 30 Allen, 20 Davis. That way the other two get a little bump. Um, I still think Brees is the best back in the room though, or at least has the potential to be. Um, Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, dude. Brees might fucking take off this year. He might show us rookie year Brees, and we might all be like, "Whoa, we're fucking stupid."
We're dumb as fuck. Oh.
Well,
Yeah,
then it's not a convo, man. Then we're
new running back coach. There's a lot of things that have changed. Um, but maybe he doesn't, and if he doesn't, then we only got to deal with it for a year, and he'll be gone, and then we'll fucking draft another running back or something.
Can I ask something real quick? Do both of you guys think though that Braylon Allen is overrated? Connor did say that.
No, well, it depends. Like he's probably saying that because there are some people who think he should be given like the shot. Like some people think he's RB1 material. I don't. I think he's short yardage. He's one of the best in the league. Like he converted, I think 10 or 12 third and shorts, fourth and shorts in a row last season. I would love him to get more of those opportunities. We were giving it to Brees in those situations at times. Give Braylon all of those. Like he should be a third down back, a little bit second down back, or short yardage is what I'm saying, not a pass catching back. But yeah, I don't think he is RB1 material, but I think he can handle more volume in the right situation. Daniel, what do you think? Do you think that Braylon is overrated?
See, to me, I didn't think he was, but if there are people out there that are saying that, then yeah, he's not a running back one. It would be nice if we drafted a guy, fourth, fifth round, and he ended up being an absolute stud, RB1. But that's also a little bit of a dream. In a perfect world, Braylon Allen is not your running back one. I think that he is a good running back. I think that he can be a contributor to your team, like you said, in the ways that you outlined, Dane. Definitely worth having on your team. I just don't think that he's, I don't see Braylon Allen getting, all pros anytime soon. So
he's a great RB2, but you got to have a RB1 that can hit homers in this offense, I think. And Brees, like you said, Brees might be that guy. That's why I'm not trading him for a day 3 pick. I'm not. I have a certain value I'm willing to part with him. And that's just to not be able to see if because I do want to give him this year to see. Mm-hmm. If you give me a third, I'll say no. All right, I'll rinse and repeat. But yeah, I just don't want to force feed him. If we all saw it last year, he was getting carries when he wasn't performing. That's what I didn't like, and that's what I think a lot of people wanted. They wanted Braylon more because Brees was sucking, man. Like he was. He didn't earn the touches he continued getting. Now, did he get better? Yes, but he didn't earn the more, to work through it. In my opinion. If he runs like he did at the end of last year, this year, I think we'll keep him all year and then just go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm excited for the draft. I can't wait for it, boys. Look, I appreciate you guys having me on, man. This was awesome as always.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I'm rocking with y'all Thursday night, man. Murph, hopefully you come on and no shirt on the whole nine, but that's only dreams could come true.
Depends who we pick.
Johnny
Right.
Bravo.
If we get Abdul Carter, I will do a shirtless episode on Thursday.
Bro,
You
could
heard
you
that.
imagine? Like, could you
Clip
imagine
it.
that though? Can you imagine if for some insane reason Abdul Carter's falling, bro?
Connor is right. If I want Hunter. I really want Hunter, like you guys want Carter. I do want Carter, but Hunter's my top guy. But 5 is the spot, man. If one of them slipped to 5, that
Oof.
I think Jacksonville would come off the pick, because I mean everybody thinks they know what the Raiders are going to do at 6. So 5 and 7 are like the same, And Raiders, yeah, Genty. Could they go Sanders? Yeah, but I think it's Genty or Sanders. It's no one else. Yeah, Carter, dude, with Jermaine and Will McDonald. Hunter with Garrett, and then Hunter with Sauce. Bro.
Yo, you saw what he said, right? He's like, I want to play both sides of the ball. He's like, I think I could do it. And that's what you want to hear from a player like that, man. Like, you want somebody that's like, yo, I could do this in the NFL. Like, I'm made.
He would rather not play football again than not play both sides of the ball. It's like, damn.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the most confidence you could have in yourself. And then you should as a person, right? So, but hey, Murph, always a pleasure, brother, man. Dano, awesome kick-ass show tonight, dude. Hey, everybody, smash the like, hit the sub, man. What are you guys waiting for? It's the Danger Zone. You already know what time it is. Peace out, boys. Oh, look at that. Look at that. The only design I had was Jets for a Wide merch, man. Come and check it out, guys. We rocking. We rocking.
If
Hey,
we draft Cam Ward at 7, I'll wear a Jets Worldwide Speedo on camera.
If what?
clip it.
If the Jets draft Cam Ward at 7, I will wear a Jets Worldwide Speedo on camera.
Clip it.
Oof. And can I be here to be the announcer?
Will that be tucked or untucked?
That'll be stuffed.
All right, boys. Y'all be good, man. Peace.
Later, bro. Oh, shit. Dude, we most engagement in the chat, views we've had in a while, it felt like, because everybody came in strong and they were chilling, man. And we had callers, several, really cool, especially the timing, because it's like, it really is your last time to put your opinion on the record. Dude, a week from tonight, this team's going to look slightly different, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Especially at this time of the night, we'll have 3 rounds deep, and those are the contributing rounds, the guys that you expect to contribute to your team. So it will have a lot to talk about. It'll be interesting to look forward to how this team, how they build this team and how they approach this offseason, man.
Facts. I might, like I said, I might go live Sunday for an hour, just learn a few about some prospects, simply because it's this channel's 1-year anniversary. But I just wanted to say, man, it's been a hell of a year. And regardless of analytics or success of the team, man, just wanted to say that the last 12 months have been easier having you on screen with me. So, dude, enjoy the draft if I don't see you.
Yes, you too. I will see you Friday for sure. I'll try to pop in on Thursday though.
Hey, do you have like 2 minutes for an OG Danger Zone caller?
For this guy, I do.
All right, cool. Yeah, see, you can see now. Thank God. That helps, don't it?
Yeah.
Hey, for you late night owls, we got a few more minutes on the line. If you haven't already, hit the like button. But let's see what this guy has to say. Guy that definitely is more skilled at the facial hair game, dude. He's a veteran. We are rookies compared to this guy. Just know that, regardless how he looks tonight, he's the guy. Anyways, without further ado, Sean, what's up, brother?
What's up, fellas? Good to see you.
When are you bringing
You know, like, I don't know, man. Like, obviously we can go 1,000 ways with this draft. You know, like, I feel like there's at least 5 ways we could go, and I won't be mad. You know, like, but in all honesty, like, my thoughts are, if we can't, you know, pick back or trade or any of that stuff, we don't know how that's going to go. So we kind of have to go off of, if we have to pick at 7, who are you taking? What is your thoughts? You know what I mean? So my thoughts is, I'm going Tyler Warren. And not because he should be picked at 7, but I mean, who else are we picking at that spot? I like Membu, but at the same time, I feel like we can pick another right tackle up later. I don't like the fact of picking up Campbell or any of these guys that are left tackles that are going to switch over to right tackle. Like, we've gone over, it's funny because we've gone over this a lot of times, and even the same guys that are like, yeah, you know, you don't want a guy who's, you know, left-handed to wipe his ass with his right hand. And then they're like, yeah, Campbell is great. Let's get Campbell. And it's like, no, but we just said, like, that's not a thing. I want a right tackle. If we're going to grab a right tackle, grab a right tackle. Don't grab somebody that's going to fill in for, he can be multiple positions. Well, if you're a master of all, how does that go?
Yeah, jack of all trades, master
of none. Like, I don't want that guy. We don't need him. Like, like, fill a position and make it sure that it's filled. Like, I don't want to waste time with all this other bullshit.
Regardless of whether we agree, that is a strong take, man. Round hole, round peg, like no more of this square peg, round hole, AVT, tackle, guard. Get a guy and put him there, right?
Yeah, more or less. You know, like, I get it. Like, there's a possibility of anybody working out. Sorry, my light in my backyard goes in and out. It's a motion sensor. But I just I don't know, man. I want to fill holes. I don't want to. Same with like the Brees thing. I don't want to get rid of Brees to bring in Genty. I don't want to get rid of Quentin to bring in Graham. Like, if we bring in Graham, I want Graham and Quentin there. If we decide we want to bring in Genty, then maybe one of the other guys is gone, but Brees isn't. But I don't want to get rid of people to fill holes. Like, we already have enough of them, so let's just fill that, and then we'll worry about the next year, like what we can do with all the other stuff. Then we'll bring in studs for whatever we want. Right now, we're just in that situation where we have way too many spots to fill that you can't just, let's get rid of this guy and bring in another guy. Then we're losing a draft spot for this year.
Real quick, because we're winding down, Sean. If we did Warren at 7, what would you want to do right after that?
I'd want to go wide receiver, and to be honest with you, if it was possible, I would want Trey Harris. I don't know that he'll fall to the 2nd, but if we could, that would be amazing 2nd pick. Go Trapillo in the 3rd. Go who's the DT from Oregon? Not Harmon, but the other guy.
Chat, help us out. I got you though.
He was on that mock draft.
Connerly? What's his name?
No,
Connerly's the tackle.
I can't think of his name.
He's just
a big body dude that can fill that spot to where we have another DT next to Quentin, and we don't have to worry about that. And then after that, you could do whatever you want. But my next thing would be another wide receiver, and I'd go Torrey Horton or Tay Felton, and you just solidify that wide receiver, that weapon room for whoever the QB is now and whoever the QB is for the future. You know, whether that be
Jamari Caldwell.
Yes, that would be that would be the second DT.
Yes,
you could pick them up in the 4th, and you'd be fine.
I love it, dude. I love it, dude. For those of you who don't know, Sean, he kicks off our intro every damn night, man, with the mask on. Epic guy. Faithful to the Danger Zone. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, enjoy your draft. We'll be here if you need some content. But regardless, man, have a brew for us and enjoy it.
I definitely do, man. And I always go on the Midnight Mike show and the Murdog show, and I always spit you guys out saying, hey, check out the Dano show with Murph. It's a good show. That's the only ones I follow. I used to follow all of them, but it kind of gets hard following everybody. But you guys, for sure, you're in my top, man. And I love y'all. Have a good night.
Love you, Sean. Have a good night, brother.
Later, bro.
Had to make time for the OG, man. Let's do it. Dude, he had like 5-6 rounds. I'm like, man, I wish you called in earlier because you
good names too. Like I'm not gonna say here I've watched film on all those guys, but I've at least heard all those names.
Trapillo, dude. Trapillo, we should have talked about him earlier. He is definitely a tackle after day one that we could target. I know Dom was spouting him a lot when we had Dom on. Anyways, well past our bedtime, man. Chat, love having you. Daniel, thanks for chilling. Have a good night, brother.
Yep. Have a good night, guys.
See ya. Off we go.
I love the show. I love you guys. Fucking, let's go Jets. JTS. Jets.
Can't all be beautiful.
You're in the Danger Zone.